Chapter 73. Mo Qingyun was an influential figure in Lianyan City, and all the major forces were paying attention to him. Now, the news of him refining a top grade 2 elixir was quickly spread to all the major forces. After knowing that Mo Qingyun had refined a second grade elixir, all the major forces were shocked. How long had it been since they arrived? And Mo Qingyun had already become a top grade 2 alchemist. This kind of alchemy talent was too terrifying. City Lord's mansion in a courtyard. Father, someone just sent back news that Mo Qingyun has already become a top grade 2 alchemist. Wan Yuexian was extremely excited as he reported to Wan Lianyan. What? Wan Lianyan's body trembled when he heard the news. He tightly held the teacup in his hand and asked in shock, what did you just say? News just came that Mo Qingyun has already become a top grade 2 alchemist. Wan Yuexian took a deep breath, calmed down his excitement, and said, he has already become a top grade 2 alchemist. Wan Lianyan's face was filled with shock, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. He said, it seems that we have still underestimated this little guy's alchemy talent. Father, now that he has already become a top grade 2 alchemist, should we invite him to check the poison in your body? Wan Yuexian revealed a trace of expectation and asked Wan Lianyan. No, don't invite him for now. Wait until he's become a top grade 3 alchemist. Wan Lianyan waved his hand and interrupted Wan Yuexian's words. He continued, however, send more people to the Azure Jade Mansion to protect them as much as possible. I'm worried that those guys from the Mount Tai sect will be restless. I understand, Father. Wan Yuexian nodded and left the courtyard. A top grade 2 alchemist. I hope you can bring me some surprises. Otherwise, Lianyan City is going to change. Wan Lianyan sighed inwardly, and a deep worry appeared on his face. Mount Tai sect in a large hall. Sect leader, I heard that Mo Qingyun from the Alchemist Alliance Guild has already become a top grade 2 alchemist. A middle-aged man walked up to the sect master of the Mount Tai sect and spoke to him respectfully. Top grade 2nd grade alchemist? I didn't expect this kid to grow so quickly. The sect master of the Mount Tai sect frowned and pondered. He said to himself, continue to pay attention to his movements and report to me immediately if there are any abnormalities. However, don't watch him too closely so as not to alert Wan Lianyan. The sect master of the Mount Tai sect paused for a moment before asking in a deep voice, has there been any news from young Master Xiao recently? Not at the moment, the person replied. All right, you may leave first. The sect leader of the Mount Tai sect waved his hand, indicating for the other party to leave. Mo Qingyun, I didn't expect this brat to appear. The sect master of the Mount Tai sect said in a cold voice, I hope you don't ruin my plan. Otherwise, I don't mind erasing you. On the other side, at the Sky Dragon Triad, they were also shocked when they heard that Mo Qingyun had become a top grade 2 alchemist. This news was too sudden for them. From a top grade 1 alchemist to a top grade 2 alchemist in just a few months' time, this speed was too fast. Sect leader, I heard that Mo Qingyun has become a top grade 2 alchemist. Should we recruit him? At this time, a hall leader of the Sky Dragon Triad asked the sect leader of the Sky Wolf Triad. No need, we'll just watch silently. The sect leader of the Sky Wolf Triad waved his hand and said, the City Lord Mansion and the Mount Tai sect will definitely take action. We'd better not get involved. At this moment, other than the top forces, the Wu family was the most excited about Mo Qingyun's advancement. What? Did you hear wrongly? Mo Qingyun is already a top grade 2 alchemist? Hearing the report, Wu Bingtian's face was filled with shock. He could not believe his ears. Never in his wildest dreams did he imagine that Mo Qingyun would advance so quickly and become a 2nd grade top alchemist. In his opinion, even if Mo Qingyun's talent was good, it would take at least a year for him to become a top grade 2 alchemist. Looks like we made the right bet this time. Such a young top grade 2 alchemist. His future is limitless. Wu Bingtian's face was filled with excitement as he secretly sighed. In Wu Bingtian's opinion, Mo Qingyun was already a top grade 2 alchemist at such a young age. In the future, he would definitely become a top grade 4 alchemist. To be able to build a good relationship with a top grade 4 alchemist was a great thing for the Wu family. At this moment, The news about Mo Qingyun was spreading like wildfire in the outside world. Mo Qingyun returned to the Bu mansion and told Mo Xian and the other girls that he was going to cultivate in the elixir cellar. At the same time, after recalling the attack, he also told Mo Xian and the other girls not to go out when he was cultivating in the elixir cellar. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was not sure if Xuanming would make his next move. It was always better to be careful. Next, he would enter the elixir cellar to cultivate. If something happened to the girls, he would not be able to deal with it. After Mo Qingyun explained the situation to the women, he returned to his residence and began to cultivate. At this moment, Mo Qingyun deeply felt that his cultivation was not rising fast enough. In the northern desert town, this feeling was not very strong. However, in Lianyan City, this feeling was very strong. With his current strength, he was still too weak in Lianyan City. He could not even protect himself. If it was not for the existence of the Alchemist Union, he would not even be able to stand here. Not to mention the forces behind Xuanming. Even the Zhang family was not something he could face now. Strength. Strength. Everything was because he was not strong enough. I'm still too weak. Mo Qingyun sighed inwardly. He took out an elixir and swallowed it, then started cultivating. The day passed silently. The next day, Mo Qingyun left the Bu mansion early in the morning and headed to the Alchemist Union. There seems to be a lot of people outside the Bu mansion. When Mo Qingyun left the Bu mansion, he suddenly realized that there seemed to be a lot of powerful auras outside the Bu mansion. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun released his soul power and sensed the surroundings. After a while, Mo Qingyun was shocked. At this moment, there were dozens of true energy realm experts and several true energy realm experts guarding the Bu mansion. What surprised Mo Qingyun the most was that these people were from the City Lord mansion. People from the City Lord mansion? After knowing the other party's background, Mo Qingyun was puzzled. He did not understand why these people from the City Lord mansion would appear outside the Bu mansion. Then, Mo Qingyun released his soul power and observed them. After a while, Mo Qingyun realized that they did not do anything out of the ordinary. They were just guarding the Bu mansion. The City Lord mansion's guards are guarding the Bu mansion. Mo Qingyun was puzzled. He frowned unconsciously, not understanding the City Lord mansion's intentions. Logically speaking, he did not have a deep relationship with the City Lord mansion, so there was no reason for them to do this. Why is the City Lord mansion guarding the Bu mansion? Mo Qingyun was puzzled again. Thinking back to Wan Yueshuan's previous actions, he was even more puzzled. Also, Wan Yueshuan's act of befriending the City Lord mansion is a bit too much. After thinking hard for a while, Mo Qingyun decided not to think too much about it. Forget it. I won't think too much about it. Now that the City Lord mansion's guards are guarding the Bu mansion, I'll go cultivate in the pill cellar and be at ease. As for the City Lord mansion's intentions, I'll ask Wan Yuexian when I come out of the pill cellar. After thinking this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and headed to the Alchemist Alliance Guild. He was going to enter the pill cellar and cultivate. Right now, the most important thing for him was to raise his cultivation. Chapter 74. On the way to the Alchemist Union, Missouri Qingyun discovered that there were some people watching him. These people had hidden themselves well, so he was unable to find out their origins for the time being. However, seeing that they didn't make any other moves, Mo Qingyun didn't bother with them. To him, the most important thing now was to raise his cultivation as soon as possible. A moment later, Mo Qingyun arrived at the Alchemist Union and went directly to Du Luo's residence. Good disciple, you're here. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Du Luo and the other two smiled and greeted him. Then, Du Luo and the other two brought Mo Qingyun to the pill cellar. The pill cellar was located at the back of the Alchemist Union. It was a relatively remote area. Soon, 2 10-meter-tall stone pillars appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. On top of the stone pillars, there was a huge signboard with the words Pill Cellar written on it. Behind the signboard was a huge palace, revealing a majestic aura. This was the Pill Cellar. The Pill Cellar has been remodeled by the Union seniors. There are 2 floors above ground and underground. After you go in, cultivate on the ground. Don't rashly go to the underground floor. The medicinal elemental energy there is too rich for you to absorb right now. Arriving in front of the palace, Du Luo's face was solemn as he instructed Mo Qingyun. Then Du Luo took out a jade token and handed it to Mo Qingyun, saying, "This is the identity token to enter the pill cellar. You can cultivate inside for a month with this token." "And I understand." Mo Qingyun nodded. "All right, you can go in." Du Luo waved his hand at Mo Qingyun, indicating that Mo Qingyun should enter the pill cellar to cultivate. Mo Qingyun nodded and entered the pill cellar. The moment Mo Qingyun entered the pill cellar, he felt a rich medicinal elemental energy wrap around him. Enveloped by this medicinal elemental energy, Mo Qingyun felt extremely comfortable, as if he was a fish in water. Then, Mo Qingyun stopped hesitating and started to cultivate. Mo Qingyun summoned his Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul and the White Glowing Gate Martial Soul. He let them absorb the medicinal elemental energy in the pill cellar by themselves. Once the Scarlet Flame Heavenly Dragon Martial Soul and the White Light Door Martial Soul were summoned, they frantically absorbed the medicinal elemental energy in the pill cellar. In just a short moment, a whirlpool formed around the two martial spirits, crazily devouring the surrounding medicinal origin energy. It gave people the feeling that all rivers were flowing into the sea. Especially the White Light Door Martial Soul. Its absorption speed was extremely fast. The open door was like a bottomless pit. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. From the speed at which these two martial spirits absorbed the medicinal energy, it seemed that the White Door Martial Spirit was slightly stronger. This discovery boosted Mo Qingyun's confidence in the extraordinariness of the White Door of Light. After that, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate any longer, and he wholeheartedly immersed himself in cultivation. Time always passed very quickly during cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 5 days had passed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's aura skyrocketed. His cultivation had finally broken through to body tempering stage 10. However, Mo Qingyun did not stop cultivating. Instead, he continued to stabilize his cultivation. Just like that, Mo Qingyun cultivated like a madman for the rest of the time. Under Mo Qingyun's crazy cultivation, his cultivation began to rise rapidly. Early body tempering stage 10, peak body tempering stage 10, late body tempering stage 10. In the blink of an eye, 29 days had passed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had reached the peak of body tempering stage 10. He was only one step away from the true energy realm. At this moment, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Spirit that had been absorbing the medicinal energy suddenly became restless. With this discovery, Mo Qingyun opened his eyes and looked at the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Spirit. Swoosh! The Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Spirit rushed towards the passageway leading to the first underground floor. In the blink of an eye, it disappeared at the entrance of the passageway and entered the first underground floor. What's going on? Why did the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Spirit suddenly rush into the underground floor? Seeing this, Mo Qingyun was puzzled. He followed the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Spirit and guessed, is there something in the underground floor that's attracting the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Spirit? Mo Qingyun didn't think too much about it and followed the Scarlet Flame Heavenly Dragon into the basement. As soon as Mo Qingyun entered the first underground floor, he felt a terrifying pressure crushing towards him. Under this pressure, Mo Qingyun's knees went soft and he knelt on one knee. No wonder teacher told me not to enter the first underground floor. This is indeed not a place for body tempering realm cultivators to enter. Feeling the mountain-like pressure on his body, Mo Qingyun was shocked and let out a sigh. Blood Qi rampage after a short moment of shock. Mo Qingyun executed his martial spirit super ability. Then, the pressure on his body suddenly decreased. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had also entered the realm of true Qi. As the pressure on his body decreased, Mo Qingyun chased after the scarlet flame dragon martial spirit. Not long after, Mo Qingyun saw the scarlet flame dragon martial spirit in a pile of discarded medicinal pills. At this moment, the scarlet flame dragon martial spirit was chasing after a milky white figure that looked like a doll. This is the elixir spirit. Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised when he saw the petite figure. He was extremely excited. He did not expect the elixir seller to give birth to such an innate spirit. This is good stuff. The innate spirit was formed by the condensation of innate spiritual qi. After refining it, it could increase one's ability to sense the yuan qi of heaven and earth. It could make it easier for a martial artist to communicate with heaven and earth, sense the yuan qi of heaven and earth, and comprehend the ultimacy and will power. So it's this little fellow that attracted the attention of the scarlet flame dragon martial spirit. At this moment, Mo Qingyun knew the abnormality of the scarlet flame dragon martial spirit. Seal gate seal. With this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and executed his martial spirit super ability on the elixir spirit. The moment the martial spirit super ability was executed, it immediately sealed his cultivation in the elixir spirit. The elixir spirit's cultivation was originally in the true qi realm. Under the suppression of the martial spirit's super ability, its cultivation soon dropped to the body-tempering realm. At the same time, its speed also slowed down. Swift shadow step. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun immediately rushed out and chased after the elixir spirit. Not long after, the elixir spirit was caught by Mo Qingyun. Let's see where you're going. Looking at the elixir spirit that looked like a porcelain doll, Mo Qingyun laughed heartily. The elixir spirit had just been formed and had yet to develop its own consciousness. Its action of running away was only out of instinct. Otherwise, it would be difficult for Mo Qingyun to catch it. The innate spirit's cultivation speed was shocking. Some powerful elixir spirits even had the ability to move mountains and seas. For example, there was a sovereign in the heavenly soul continent who was an innate fire spirit. The innate fire spirit's use of the power of fire had reached the acme of perfection. After catching the elixir spirit, Mo Qingyun did not refine it immediately. Instead, he sealed it and stored it in his cosmos bag. He intended to refine the elixir spirit when he broke through to the true qi realm. This way, the effect would be better. After storing the elixir spirit, Mo Qingyun continued to cultivate. The elixir cellar was a good place. It was rare for him to come here, so he couldn't waste his time. A day later, the jade token that Du Luo gave Mo Qingyun fluctuated. This was a sign that the time was up. Shortly after, Mo Qingyun stood up and walked out of the elixir cellar. Chapter 75. As soon as Mo Qingyun left the elixir cellar, he saw Du Luo and the other two. It seemed like they had been waiting for him for a long time. Seeing Mo Qingyun coming out of the elixir cellar, Du Luo and the other two went up to him with smiles. 10th layer body tempering realm, not bad, not bad. Du Luo and the other two praised Mo Qingyun as they found out that he had broken through to the 10th layer body tempering realm. Teacher, this is the identity token to enter the elixir cellar. Mo Qingyun took out the token and handed it back to Du Luo. Okay. Du Luo took the token and kept it in his Qinquan bag. Teacher, when will the elixir cellar be open next time? Mo Qingyun asked. Half a year later, Du Luo replied. However, one can only enter the elixir cellar once a year. One can only enter once a year. Mo Qingyun was slightly disappointed to hear such an answer from Du Luo. If that was the case, it would be impossible for him to enter the elixir cellar in the short term. However, after thinking about it for a moment, Mo Qingyun felt relieved. If he could enter the elixir cellar without any restrictions, no one would be able to enter the elixir cellar. After that, Mo Qingyun chatted with Du Luo and the other two for a while before leaving the Alchemist Union and returning to the Azure Jade Mansion. After all, there were still some things waiting for him to take care of in the Azure Jade Mansion. As soon as Mo Qingyun walked out of the Alchemist Union, he sensed that someone was following him. Mo Qingyun did not pay much attention to it and continued to return to the Azure Jade Mansion. However, to Mo Qingyun's surprise, that person left after following him for a while. Mo Qingyun did not expect this to happen. About an hour later, Mo Qingyun returned to the Azure Jade Mansion. As Mo Qingyun expected, the people from the City Lord's mansion were still guarding the Azure Jade Mansion. Mo Qingyun did not care about their presence and returned to the Azure Jade Mansion. Soon, Mo Qingyun saw Mo Xian in the Azure Jade Mansion. However, at that moment, Mo Xian's face was filled with panic and worry as she paced back and forth. Did something happen? Seeing Mo Xian's reaction, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and he hurriedly walked over. Mo Qingyun asked, "Sister Mo Xian, what's wrong?" "Qingyun, it's great that you're back." Seeing Mo Qingyun return, Mo Xian was pleasantly surprised, as if she had found her pillar of support. Unknowingly, they had already developed a trace of dependence on Mo Qingyun. Mo Ling's hidden disease broke out. Mo Xian looked worried. She said, "She's burning like fire? We don't know what to do. Xiao Xiao has already gone to find fourth uncle." Did Sister Mo Ling's constitution erupt? Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He quickly ran to Mo Ling's room and said, "Let's go and have a look." Soon, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xian arrived at Mo Ling's room. They saw Mo Ling lying on the bed with a pale face. Her body was drenched in sweat, and she was emitting a shocking heat wave. Fortunately, it's not a complete eruption. After seeing Mo Ling's condition, Mo Qingyun heaved a deep sigh of relief. His tense heart relaxed. "Qingyun, do you have a way?" Mo Xian asked anxiously. In the past, when Mo Ling's constitution erupted, it was Second Aunt who helped her suppress it with her cultivation. Now that Second Aunt and Fourth Uncle are not here, we can't suppress it with our cultivation. Sister Mo Xian, don't worry. I have a way to temporarily suppress the power of fire in Sister Mo Ling's body. Mo Xiao smiled at Mo Xian comfortingly, indicating that she didn't need to worry too much. Really? Mo Xian was pleasantly surprised. Yes. Mo Qingyun nodded and said, "I'll do it now to suppress the power of fire in Sister Mo Ling's body. You go out and guard for me. Don't let anyone disturb me." "Okay." Mo Xian nodded and walked out of the room to guard outside. Seeing that Mo Xian had gone out, Mo Qingyun walked towards Mo Ling and said, "Sister Mo Ling, I'll help you channel the power of fire in your body. If you feel any discomfort, tell me immediately." "Okay." Mo Ling's breath was weak as he responded. "Scarlet Flame Dragon, appear." Then, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and directly summoned the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul. Instantly, a more terrifying power of fire filled the room. This sudden turn of events caused Mo Xian, who was outside the house, to be shocked. Her expression became tense. However, when she thought of what Mo Qingyun had said, she resisted the urge to enter the room. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had summoned the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul, Mo Ling was stunned. She said in shock, "Qingyun, your martial soul. Actually, I have twin martial souls. This is my other martial soul. It can help you relieve the power of fire in your body." Mo Qingyun explained and said, "Sister Mo Ling, let's talk about the martial soul later. I'll help you relieve the power of fire in your body first." "Okay." Mo Ling nodded, but she was still shocked. She didn't expect that Mo Qingyun actually had twin martial souls. Moreover, the other martial soul was the powerful Sky Dragon martial soul. The weakest Sky Dragon martial soul was a superb martial soul. Mo Qingyun's Sky Dragon martial soul was obviously very strong. In that case, Mo Qingyun's martial soul should be a high-grade superb martial soul. The funny thing was that everyone in the Mo family thought that Mo Qingyun only had a first-grade illumination martial soul. They thought that Mo Qingyun couldn't be compared to Mo Tsang. Such an outcome was really ironic. With the talent that Mo Qingyun displayed at this moment, Mo Tsang was simply trash when compared to him. At this moment, Mo Ling finally understood why Mo Qingyun's cultivation was so fast. With the Scarlet Flame Dragon martial soul, it would be difficult for Mo Qingyun to cultivate slowly even if he wanted to. After the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul was summoned by Mo Qingyun, it started to devour the power of fire in Mo Ling's body. However, Mo Qingyun didn't devour the power of fire too quickly. To Mo Ling, the power of fire was the source of her body. If it devoured too much, it would have a certain impact on Mo Ling and hurt the foundation of her body. Therefore, Mo Qingyun told Mo Ling to tell him immediately if she felt uncomfortable. Under the devouring of the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul, the power of fire in Mo Ling's body slowly increased, and Mo Ling's complexion also improved. After a while, Mo Qingyun saw that Mo Ling's breathing had stabilized, and he stopped the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul from devouring. "Thank you, Qingyun." Feeling that her body had recovered, Mo Ling smiled sweetly and thanked Mo Qingyun gratefully. "Sister Mo Ling, you don't need to thank me." Mo Qingyun chuckled and waved his hand. He said, "However, if you want to completely solve your body's problem, you still need to find a suitable cultivation technique for you to cultivate. It's a pity that I don't have such a cultivation technique with me. I can cultivate it too?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Ling's expression suddenly changed, and she was pleasantly surprised. This was the first time she had heard Mo Qingyun's words. In the past, when Mo Yuru had brought her to visit the doctors, the most they said was to let her eat as much as she could, play as she could, and live one day at a time. There had never been a doctor like Mo Qingyun who said this. Of course, Mo Qingyun answered affirmatively and said, "If there is a suitable cultivation technique for your body, your cultivation speed will increase by leaps and bounds." Really, Mo Ling's heart was once again filled with joy and then disappointment. This cultivation technique must be very rare. "Sister Mo Ling, don't worry. I will definitely find a suitable cultivation technique for you," Mo Qingyun said with a resolute expression. "You said it. If you can't find me, you can ask, hee. Looking at Mo Qingyun's serious look, Mo Ling chuckled and said, "Tell me about your martial soul." "My martial soul?" Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment and said, "Actually, I have twin martial souls. I just found out not long ago." Mo Qingyun made up a reasonable excuse and told it to Mo Ling, "So that's the case. No wonder your cultivation didn't improve quickly before." Mo Ling didn't doubt Mo Qingyun's words and nodded in understanding. In Mo Ling's opinion, Mo Qingyun's cultivation improved quickly after discovering the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul. Mo Qingyun begged, "Sister Mo Ling, about my martial soul, I hope you can keep a secret for me. Brat, you're being mysterious." Hearing this, Mo Ling rolled her eyes at Mo Qingyun and said, "But since you helped me suppress the flame force in my body, I promise you." At this moment, outside the room, Mo Xiao and Mo Failing finally arrived. Seeing Mo Xian outside the room, Mo Failing asked, "Linger, how is it?" "I don't know yet." Mo Xian's face was heavy as she replied. "Qingyun said he has a way to help Mo Ling suppress the flame force in her body. He asked me to guard him here and not let anyone disturb him." "Qingyun has a way." Mo Failing and Mo Zhao's expressions changed, revealing surprise. "In that case, let's wait outside for a while." Chapter 76. With a squeak, the door of Mo Ling's room opened, and Mo Qingyun and Mo Failing walked out. "Linger, Sister Ling, you've recovered?" Seeing Mo Ling come out, Mo Failing and the other two were surprised and asked with concern. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to suppress the flame energy in Mo Ling's body. "Yes, I'm fine now." Mo Ling smiled and nodded at the three of them. "Great!" Knowing that Mo Ling was fine, Mo Failing and the other two were relieved and smiled happily. "Brat, I didn't expect you to be so skillful." Mo Xian patted Mo Qingyun's shoulder with a joyful expression. Then she asked curiously, "Quickly tell us, what method did you use to suppress the flame energy in Sister Ling's body?" Hearing Mo Xian's question, Mo Qingyun briefly explained the process of suppressing the flame energy in Mo Ling's body. However, Mo Qingyun had changed many parts of the story. He said that the reason why he could suppress the flame energy in Mo Ling's body was because of Du Luo and the other two's guidance. Mo Qingyun was not worried that Mo Xin and the other two would not believe him. They could not ask Du Luo and the other two to verify it. It seems that Senior Du Luo and the other two have taught you a lot during this time. Mo Feilin chuckled. He didn't doubt Mo Qingyun's words at all. In his opinion, if Mo Qingyun didn't say that, then it would be more suspicious of them. After that, Mo Qingyun and the others talked for a while. Seeing that Mo Ling was fine, Mo Failing returned to the Greenwood firm. After Mo Failing left, Mo Qingyun also returned to his room and started to cultivate. Just now, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul had swallowed Mo Ling's flame energy, and a part of it was transferred to his body. He had to refine it as soon as possible. Immediately, Mo Qingyun sat down cross-legged and started to refine the flame energy in his body. As the flame energy in his body was refined, Mo Qingyun's aura gradually increased. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun's cultivation once again broke through, entering the half-step True Qi realm. Half a step into the True Qi realm. Mo Qingyun's face was filled with joy as he secretly said, "If that's the case, then I can attack the True Qi stage." After that, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate any longer. He took out the pill spirit and started to refine it. 2 days later, under Mo Qingyun's continuous refining, the volume of the pill spirit had shrunk by half. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's accumulated True Qi had reached a limit. The surging True Qi in his body seemed to want to break through Mo Qingyun's body and burst out. With this discovery, Mo Qingyun stopped refining the pill spirit and began to condense the true energy within his body, making it more solid. 1 day later, the true energy in Mo Qingyun's body had been condensed to its limit. Break for me. At this moment, the condensed true energy within his body, under Mo Qingyun's control, rushed towards the barrier of the stage with an earth-shattering momentum. Qi. Under the violent impact of the true Qi, the barrier of the stage was like a thin piece of paper instantly breaking through. Once the barrier of the stage was broken, Mo Qingyun's cultivation officially entered the True Qi realm, and his aura instantly skyrocketed. As soon as he entered the True Qi realm, Mo Qingyun immediately felt that his strength had increased by more than a few times. The originally narrow meridians in his body widened at this moment, and his dantian was completely opened up. The true Qi in his meridians formed a cycle with his dantian and began to circulate on its own. Not only that, Mo Qingyun also felt that the amount of true Qi in his body was now nearly 5 times more than before his breakthrough. The true Qi that had originally been so full that it was about to explode now only filled up 1/5 of his dantian. Noticing this change, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and began to refine the remaining half of the pill spirit. 3 days later, the remaining half of the pill spirit was completely refined by Mo Qingyun. At this moment, not only had Mo Qingyun's cultivation been completely stabilized, but had also reached the peak of the LV1 True Qi realm. Seeing that his cultivation had been completely stabilized, Mo Qingyun stopped increasing his cultivation and prepared to practice his martial technique. 5 days later, at the back mountain of the Azure Jade Mansion, bang, 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 a several-meter-tall blue stone was directly blasted into dust by Mo Qingyun's attack. I'm afraid that even someone in the LV3 True Qi realm wouldn't be able to take this punch. Seeing the power of his punch, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied expression. Now, his punch already had a hint of returning to its original state, and its power had also increased by several times. After these days of cultivation, he had finally cultivated the martial skill 9-stage collapse to the true essence level. In addition, as his cultivation entered the True Qi realm, The true power of the Earth-grade martial technique was also revealed at this moment. At this moment, Mo Qingyun had a feeling that if he were to meet the three demon brothers now, even if he didn't use his trump card, the Heavenly Soul Seal, he could still easily kill the three of them. After practicing the 9-stage collapse, Mo Qingyun began to practice the swift shadow steps. While practicing the swift shadow steps, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but ponder in his heart. I have already practiced the swift shadow steps to the true essence level. If I want to take another step forward, I must comprehend the power of ultimacy. But the power of ultimacy can only be comprehended by those in the advanced true energy realm. In this case, it will be somewhat impossible to take the swift shadow steps to the next level. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun felt a headache coming on. However, he didn't give up and continued to practice the swift shadow steps. As soon as the swift shadow steps was used, Mo Qingyun's feet seemed to gather wind and his body flashed rapidly. As he continued to practice the swift shadow steps, his movement speed became faster and faster, and his comprehension of the swift shadow steps deepened. The swift shadow steps is based on speed. Speed is the foundation of wind. It seems that if I want to comprehend the swift shadow steps to the ultimacy level, I must comprehend the wind ultimacy. Mo Qingyun continued to ponder in his heart, and his comprehension of the swift shadow steps deepened. 5 days later, Mo Qingyun was still practicing the swift shadow steps. However, the swift shadow steps was now completely different under Mo Qingyun's practice. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's footsteps were as if he was taking a leisurely stroll. However, his speed was extremely fast, and it was almost instantaneous. In addition, when Mo Qingyun took a step forward, a shadow of a wind blade formed around his body. Chi. Under the attack of the wind blade shadow, the surrounding trees were immediately left with marks of varying depths. Some of the smaller plants were directly cut in half by the wind blade shadow. The swift shadow steps has finally reached the ultimacy level. Seeing the results of the swift shadow steps, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with joy. He was very satisfied with the results. However, Mo Qingyun was very clear that this was not the true ultimacy level. The ultimacy level was something that could only be comprehended by the advanced level of the true energy realm. His current level could only be considered as a pseudo-ultimacy. Even so, the power of the swift shadow steps had increased by a few levels. Next is the Fire Dragon Seal. After comprehending the swift shadow steps to the ultimacy level, Mo Qingyun decided to practice the Fire Dragon Seal. Immediately, Mo Qingyun began to practice the Fire Dragon Seal and began to condense the Fire Dragon Battle Seal. Previously, due to the difference in cultivation level, Mo Qingyun condensed the Internal Strength Battle Seal. At this moment, it was condensed again and transformed into True Energy Battle Seals. After transforming the Internal Strength Battle Seals into True Energy Battle Seals, Mo Qingyun began to condense new True Energy Battle Seals. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. At this moment, 27 Crimson Battle Seals were floating around Mo Qingyun's body. 27 True Energy Battle Seals was the maximum number of True Energy Battle Seals that the Fire Dragon Seal could condense in the True Energy realm. At this moment, Mo Qingyun had finally cultivated the Fire Dragon Seal to the Greater Mastery stage. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun stored the 27 True Energy Battle Seals into his body. After mastering the Fire Dragon Seal, Mo Qingyun began to practice the Soul Heaven Seal. The Soul Heaven Seal's cultivation method was similar to the Fire Dragon Seal. Both were condensing battle seals. However, the difficulty of condensing Soul Battle Seals was much higher than condensing True Energy Battle Seals. However, Mo Qingyun did not give up. Instead, he patiently condensed Soul Battle Seals. In the blink of an eye, several days had passed. Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating the Soul Heaven Seal. This was because tomorrow was the day of the town meeting. Today, he had to return to the Mo family. However, after these few days of condensing, the number of Soul Battle Seals in his Sea of Consciousness had increased to 9. Mo Qingyun was very satisfied with this result. After a month of cultivation, his strength had once again increased qualitatively. Chapter 77. In a small courtyard of the Shui family in Lianyan City. Young Master Ming, we still haven't found the three demons. A middle-aged man reported to the young man in front of him. It's been almost a month, and there's still no news of the three demons. I'm afraid they're dead. Shui Ming's face darkened as he said coldly, if that's the case, Mo Qingyun might have an expert protecting him. Shui Ming felt that with Mo Qingyun's strength, it was impossible for him to kill the three demons. They must have been killed by someone else. Young Master Ming, the mayor's mansion has sent many people to protect the BU mansion recently. Do you think? The middle-aged man asked tentatively. We can't rule out that possibility. Shui Ming clenched his teeth. The mayor's mansion. I'll make them pay for this. Shui Ming was furious when he thought that the mayor's mansion might have killed the three demons and caused him to fail in his assassination attempt on Mo Qingyun. Just then, when the two of them were talking, one of them hurried over and reported, Young Master Ming, our men just sent news that Mo Qingyun and the rest have left the BU mansion. It seems like they're leaving Lianyan City. Leaving Lianyan City? Shui Ming sneered and said proudly, Mo Qingyun, I was just thinking about how to deal with you. I didn't expect you to send yourself to me. You saved me a lot of trouble. Continue to keep an eye on them. Once Mo Qingyun leaves the city, report to me immediately. Shui Ming instructed the man with a cold glint in his eyes. After Mo Qingyun finished his cultivation, he left the courtyard and headed back to the Mo family with Mo Xian and the rest. After 2 months, both Mo Xian and Mo Xiao had made significant progress in their cultivation. Mo Xian's cultivation had reached the true energy realm, while Mo Xiao's cultivation had reached the body tempering stage 7. After leaving the BU mansion, Mo Qingyun and the rest went to the Greenwood Trading Company. Mo Faline wanted to go back with them, but something came up at the Greenwood Trading Company, and Mo Faline couldn't leave. Mo Qingyun and the rest had no choice but to go back by themselves. Mo Qingyun sat on the front of the carriage and drove it out of the city gate. By now, Mo Qingyun was already a celebrity in Mo Qingyun. Once they saw Mo Qingyun driving his carriage over, the city guards immediately let him pass. At this moment, their behavior was completely different from when Mo Qingyun first entered the city. At this moment, Mo Qingyun was driving out of Lianyan City. Beside the city gate, a dark golden carriage chased after Mo Qingyun's carriage. About 15 minutes later, the dark golden carriage suddenly sped up and overtook Mo Qingyun's group. Then, it stopped horizontally on the road, blocking the path of Mo Qingyun and the others. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun frowned. His expression became serious as he stared coldly at the carriage in front of him. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, 5 people walked out of the dark golden carriage. The leader of the 5 was Shui Ming, whom Mo Qingyun was familiar with. Shui Ming. Seeing Shui Ming in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression became serious. He did not expect Shui Ming to chase him all the way to the outskirts of Lianyan City just to kill him. One of them was at LV7 True Energy Realm. One was at LV4 True Energy Realm. 2 were at LV2 True Energy Realm, and Shui Ming, who was half a step into the True Energy Realm. After discovering the opponent's strength, Mo Qingyun's expression became serious. The disparity in strength between the two parties was too great. A head-on clash was definitely not going to work. Mo Qingyun, you were lucky to escape last time. Let's see where you'll escape to this time. Shui Ming said with a cold smile. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun and the others were like fish on a chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered by him. However, it made sense. After all, the disparity in strength between the two parties was too great. After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun said to Mo Xian, who was behind him, Sister Mo Xian, you drive the carriage later. I'll find a chance to let you guys leave. After speaking, Mo Qingyun got off the carriage and passed the reins to Mo Xian. Mo Qingyun, you guys should just surrender. Don't put up any unnecessary resistance. Seeing Mo Qingyun get off the carriage, the cold smile on Shui Ming's face deepened. Don't worry. After you die, I'll take care of the beauties in your carriage for you. I'll make sure they're naked every day. Ha ha. Soul Sky Seal. At this moment, just as Xue Ming was getting carried away, Mo Qingyun's expression darkened. He immediately attacked them. In an instant, 5 soul battle seals shot out like a stream of light and blasted into Xue Ming and the others' heads. Under the bombardment of the soul battle seals, Xue Ming and the others let out a blood-curdling scream and became dazed. Swift shadow step. At this moment, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate at all. He immediately raised his hand to grab Xue Ming. Protect young Master Ming. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the man at the 7th level true energy realm immediately cried out in panic. Xue Ming was a direct descendant of the Xue family. If anything happened to him in their hands, they would not be able to answer to the Xue family. Die, kid. When a man at the 7th level true energy realm warned the others, he immediately attacked Mo Qingyun. But now, Mo Qingyun had already cultivated swift shadow steps to the level of profound meaning, and he had also comprehended a hint of wind profound meaning. His speed was extremely fast. Before the other party could attack, Mo Qingyun had already reached Xue Ming's side. He raised his hand and grabbed Xue Ming's neck. If you don't want him to die, stop right now. Mo Qingyun's face was cold. He tightened his grip on Xue Ming's neck. Stop. Stop it. Stop it right now. Under the pain, Xue Ming's face was filled with panic as he shouted at the others. Hearing Xue Ming's words, the others stopped and stared coldly at Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun, what do you want? Under Mo Qingyun's control, Xue Ming's face was filled with fear. He said timidly, "If you dare to touch me, the Xue family won't let you go. Also, if you kill me, none of you will be able to leave today. Is that so?" Hearing Xue Ming's dangerous words, Mo Qingyun's mouth twitched. He tightened his grip and sneered, "If I can drag young Master Xue Ming down with me, even if I die, it's still a gain for me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xue Ming's face immediately twitched. He said in a panic, "Mo Qingyun, if you let me go, I promise I won't cause trouble for you in the future." "Really?" Mo Qingyun smiled playfully. "Of course," Xue Ming quickly replied. "Then get them to move the carriage away first." Mo Qingyun pointed at the carriage in front of them. Hearing this, Xue Ming didn't dare to hesitate. He immediately ordered, "You guys move the carriage away immediately. Young Master Ming, this." A few of them hesitated. They knew very well that once they moved the carriage away, Mo Xian and the rest would leave, and they would be in an even more passive position. "Quick, didn't you hear what I said?" However, Xue Ming obviously didn't think so much. He immediately urged them. Hearing Xue Ming's words, the few of them had no choice but to move the carriage to the side. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun said to Mo Xian, "Sister Mo Xian, you guys leave first." "Okay." Hearing this, Mo Xian responded and immediately drove the carriage away. She knew very well that even if they stayed, they would only be a burden to Mo Qingyun. Rather than that, she might as well leave and not become a burden to Mo Qingyun. Chapter 78. A few hours later. Mo Qingyun, they're already far away. Can you let me go now? Xue Ming asked with a pleading expression. However, if one looked closely, they would be able to see that he was looking at Mo Qingyun with eyes full of hatred. "Let you go." The corner of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up, revealing a playful sneer. He said, "Do you think that's possible?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Xue Ming's face twitched. He said in a panic, "Mo Qingyun, don't be rash. If you kill me, you won't be able to escape either." Xue Ming was very worried that Mo Qingyun would take him down with him. He didn't want to die with Mo Qingyun. He was the young master of a first-rate faction in Lianyan City. His status was extremely high. He didn't want to die in such a cowardly manner. Can't escape. The playful smile on Mo Qingyun's face became even more pronounced. He said, "You think too highly of them. Just a few of them won't be able to keep me here. Brat, If you dare to touch a single hair on young Master Ming's head, we'll definitely tear you to pieces. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the seventh stage true energy realm cultivator coldly shouted at Mo Qingyun. Tear me to pieces? Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He said coldly, that depends on whether you have the ability to do so. Crack! As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun exerted force in his hand and directly crushed Xuanming's throat. No. At this moment, Xuanming's eyes were wide open. He died with a grievance. He had never thought that he would one day die in such a situation. Brat, you're courting death. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the seventh stage true energy realm cultivator immediately jumped up and threw a palm strike at Mo Qingyun. Bang! Facing this seventh stage true energy realm cultivator, Mo Qingyun directly threw a palm strike at Xuanming's back, sending Xuanming's body flying towards his opponent. Swift shadow steps then. Mo Qingyun's feet stirred up the wind as he fled in a flash. The reason why Mo Qingyun killed Xuanming was because he knew that even if he didn't kill Xuanming now, Xuanming would seek revenge on him in the future. Since the result would be the same anyway, he might as well kill Xuanming and earn a living from the Xue family. Protector Jiang, what should we do now? Should we send young Master Ming's body back? Seeing Xuanming die, a few people on the side immediately panicked and asked the seventh stage true energy cultivator. Xuanming was a direct descendant of the Xue family. Now that he was killed in front of them, they couldn't shirk the responsibility. Before we catch that brat, we must not bring young Master Ming's body back. Protector Jiang said with a ferocious expression, young Master Ming is the patriarch's nephew. If we can't capture that brat and bring him back as punishment, we will definitely be buried with young Master Ming when we return. Chase. After dealing with Xuanming's body simply, Protector Jiang and the other three people chased after Mo Qingyun. Not long after, Protector Jiang and the other three people caught up to Mo Qingyun. When he saw the four people chasing after him, Mo Qingyun's expression turned grave. He thought to himself, I can't continue like this. If I keep using swift shadow steps to escape, I might be able to shake them off temporarily, but the true qi in my body will be used up too much. Once I run out of true qi and they catch up to me, I will definitely die. I have to exhaust their strength first. Soon, Mo Qingyun made up his mind. He changed the direction of his escape and fled towards the forest beside the main road. Mo Qingyun's idea was that the forest terrain was complicated, making it convenient for him to hide. In addition, under the obstruction of the trees, it wouldn't be good for his opponents to team up against him, giving him a chance to kill them. Brat, you can't escape. Seeing Mo Qingyun rush into the forest, Protector Jiang and the other three people's expressions were ferocious as they gnashed their teeth and roared. With their cultivation, they had been chasing a brat at the first stage of the true energy realm for so long, yet they still hadn't caught up. Although they were furious, they had to admit that Mo Qingyun's movement technique was too brilliant and his speed was too fast. If it weren't for Mo Qingyun's low cultivation, they would have even suspected that Mo Qingyun had comprehended the wind's profound meaning. As time passed, Protector Jiang and the other three people's hatred for Mo Qingyun also increased. At this moment, they couldn't wait to skin Mo Qingyun, pull out his tendons, and chop him into pieces to vent the hatred in their hearts. Since he had decided to attack Protector Jiang and the other three people, Mo Qingyun slowed down his pace and let them catch up to him. Brat, aren't you good at escaping? Why aren't you running anymore? Seeing that Mo Qingyun had stopped and they had caught up to him, Protector Jiang and the other three people revealed complacent sneers. In their opinion, Mo Qingyun had stopped because he couldn't run anymore. If that was the case, with Mo Qingyun's cultivation at the first stage of the true energy realm, he was like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered in front of them. Escape? Why should I escape? Mo Qingyun's lips curled up as he laughed unconcernedly. Protector Jiang, do you think this brat ran until he lost his mind? He actually asked such a stupid question. I think this brat probably knows that he has no chance of escaping, so he's planning to surrender. At least this brat knows his limits. This way, It will save us some trouble. The people beside Protector Jiang revealed disdainful smiles. Surrender? Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, "You guys are thinking too much. You guys aren't qualified to capture me. Brat, do you think you still have a chance to escape in front of us?" Protector Jiang said disdainfully, "Now I'll give you two choices. One, surrender yourself and follow us to the Shui family to die. The other, will kill you and bring your head back. Choose one. There's a third, and that is, I'll kill all of you and leave by myself." Mo Qingyun glanced coldly at the four people and said indifferently, "What a joke. Protector Jiang, did you hear that? This brat said he'll kill all of us. Looks like this brat has really lost his mind from running for his life. He can even say such idiotic words." Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Protector Jiang and the others immediately mocked him. "Protector Jiang, let me take this brat down." After mocking Mo Qingyun, one of the people with a cultivation at the second stage of the true energy realm got up and walked towards Mo Qingyun. Upon hearing this person's words, Protector Jiang and the others nodded and tacitly agreed with his actions. In their opinion, it was a waste of talent for the four of them to deal with Mo Qingyun together. In other words, Mo Qingyun was not qualified for the four of them to work together to deal with him. However, although they tacitly agreed with the former's actions, Protector Jiang and the other two still blocked Mo Qingyun's path. They did this to prevent Mo Qingyun from taking the opportunity to escape again when he fought with the former. Mo Qingyun was a little surprised by the actions of these people in front of him, but he wasn't happy to see them. He would have thought that these people's actions were actually the same as the three Evil's brothers, extremely arrogant. Chapter 79. Seeing this person at the second level of the true energy realm approach, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately attacked him. Soul Sky Seal. A soul battle seal instantly appeared and attacked this person at the second level of the true energy realm. In the blink of an eye, it blasted into his head. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's soul battle seal, this person immediately held his head and screamed. His consciousness was somewhat dazed. Fleeting shadow steps. Having succeeded in one strike, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate at all and immediately executed fleeting shadow steps. He raised his hand and punched towards his opponent. 9 heavy crash. Mo Qingyun punched out. Violent true energy rapidly gathered on his fist. Not long after, 9 true energy fist shadows condensed and attacked the opponent's head with an unstoppable force. Not good. This kid is a bit strange. Let's act quickly. Seeing Mo Qingyun's combat strength, Enforcer Zhang's expression immediately changed, and he attacked Mo Qingyun. When the other two heard Protector Zhang's words, they were also shocked. They hurriedly attacked Mo Qingyun. Fire Dragon Seal. Seeing Enforcer Zhang and the other two attack, Mo Qingyun immediately waved his hand and released 9 Fire Dragon Seals, attacking the 3 of them. Facing the Fire Dragon Seals, Enforcer Jiang and the other two all paused and raised their hands to attack the Fire Dragon Seals. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's 9 fist shadows landed on the head of the person at the second level of the true energy realm. Bang, bang, bang. In an instant, the violent true energy fist shadows, with the power to topple mountains and overturn seas, were instantly blasted out like a rotten watermelon. In the blink of an eye, that man at the second level of the true energy realm was already deader than dead. One move, and a person at the second level of the true energy realm was dead. After seeing this scene, Enforcer Jiang and the other two's faces instantly darkened to the extreme. Their eyes were about to crack. They really did not expect that with the strength of the 4 of them working together, they would be able to deal with a kid at the first level of the true energy realm. Not only did they not quickly take down the opponent, on the contrary, one of them was killed by the opponent first. To them, this was simply a great humiliation. Don't hold back. Let's attack together and kill this kid. After seeing this unforeseen event, Enforcer Jiang did not dare to be the slightest bit careless and immediately instructed the 2 beside him. Yes, Enforcer Jiang. Hearing Protector Zhang's words, the two of them hurriedly responded and simultaneously attacked Mo Qingyan. Fleeting shadow steps. Seeing Enforcer Jiang and the other two people attack, he did not dare to be careless. His figure moved his body. He started fleeing. At this moment, it was still not the time for a direct confrontation. He still needed to continue exhausting his opponent's combat strength. Chase him. Protector Zhang's expression turned savage when he saw Mo Qingyun running away again. He shouted and chased after him. Protector Zhang Mo Qingyun's was not only have they fleeting Qingyuns. Furthermore, in terms of movement techniques and speed, the gap between them and Mo Qingyun widened once again. After a while, Mo Qingyun had widened the distance between them. Gradually, Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared from their sight. Realizing this, Enforcer Zhang's face darkened to the extreme. He gritted his teeth and said, "Search. Find this kid, even if you have to dig 3 feet into the ground." As they searched for Mo Qingyun's figure, Enforcer Zhang and the other two people separated by a distance. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun circled back and slowly approached the remaining person at the second level of the true energy realm. However, Mo Qingyun did not attack immediately. Instead, he waited for the person to widen the distance between him and Enforcer Zhang. After a while, Mo Qingyun's opportunity to attack arrived. At this moment, the distance between the person and Enforcer Zhang had widened by nearly a dozen meters. At this distance, if Mo Qingyun attacked this person, even if Enforcer Zhang and Enforcer Zhang noticed, they would not be able to come to their rescue in time. Soul Heaven Seal. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate to raise his hand and attack the person. Mo Qingyun struck out with his palm. A soul battle seal rapidly condensed and blasted toward the person at lightning speed. Puff! Faced with the sudden attack of the soul battle seal, the person was hit directly before he could react. His soul suffered a strong blow. At this moment, he hugged his head and screamed in pain. His expression was somewhat dazed. The person's screams immediately attracted the attention of Enforcer Jiang and Enforcer Jiang. "Kid, you're courting death." Seeing that Mo Qingyun did not escape and instead turned back to hurt the person, Enforcer Jiang immediately shouted angrily. 9 heavy crash. As Enforcer Jiang shouted, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and punched toward the person's head. Bang, bang, bang. Immediately, 9 true energy fish shadows wreaked havoc with true energy landed on the person's head one after another. Under the bombardment of the 9 true energy fish shadows, the person's head was instantly blown apart. He was killed by Mo Qingyun and followed in the footsteps of the previous person. With another punch, another person with a cultivation of LV2 true energy realm was killed. What a cunning kid. He actually hid his cultivation. Seeing that a person with a cultivation of LV2 true energy realm was easily killed by Mo Qingyun without any resistance, Enforcer Jiang immediately guessed. Protector Jiang quickly guessed that Mo Qingyun should have concealed his cultivation. Otherwise, Mo Qingyun, who was only at LV1 true energy realm, could not possibly have such powerful combat strength. "Kid, you forced me to do this." Seeing that another person beside him was killed by Mo Qingyun, Enforcer Jiang almost went crazy at this moment. His eyes were bloodshot as he roared. At the same time, Enforcer Jiang took out a small black box and pressed the mechanism on the small box in front of Mo Qingyun. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Then, tiny sharp needles shot out from the small box, piercing through the air towards Mo Qingyun. These are hidden weapons, the rainstorm point sealing needles. Seeing the thin needles shot out from the small box, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he exclaimed in shock. He did not expect that Enforcer Jiang would have such a thing on him. Once the thin needles of the rainstorm point sealing needles hit, the acupoints in the body would immediately be sealed. If the acupoints were sealed, the circulation of qi and blood in the body would not be smooth, and the strength that could be used for a short period of time would be greatly reduced. Enforcer Jiang, who was at LV7 True Energy Realm, used this item against Mo Qingyun, who was only at LV1 True Energy Realm. It was obvious how furious Enforcer Jiang was. He wanted to kill Mo Qingyun as soon as possible. Puff, puff, puff. Once the rainstorm point sealing needles were shot out, they pierced into the trees and produced a series of crisp sounds. Swift shadow steps, seeing this. Mo Qingyun didn't dare to be careless in the slightest and immediately fled. At this moment, although Mo Qingyun was fleeing at top speed, the rainstorm point sealing needles attack range was too wide, and he was still hit by one of the needles. After being hit by the rainstorm point sealing needles, Mo Qingyun let out a muffled groan. His expression immediately changed, and he said to himself, "Oh no, let's chase. That brat has been hit by the rainstorm point sealing needles. He can't run far." When Protector Jiang heard the sound of Mo Qingyun being struck by needles, he revealed a sinister smile and said coldly, "Brat, let's see where you can run to this time. You made me use the torrential acupoint sealing needles. When I catch you later, I will break your bones one by one to vent the hatred in my heart." Feeling the power of the rainstorm point sealing needles, he began to seal the acupoints in his body, causing his cultivation to weaken. Blood Chi Berserk. At this moment, Mo Qingyun did not hold back and immediately used his martial spirit super ability to escape with all his strength. Once the martial spirit super ability was used, the cultivation that had fallen was immediately restored, and it even increased slightly. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed slightly, and he said to himself, "I was too careless this time. If I didn't have the martial spirit super ability, I'm afraid I would have died." After letting out a deep breath, Mo Qingyun used all his strength to escape and quickly shook off Enforcer Jiang and Enforcer Jiang. Chapter 80. A few minutes later, as Mo Qingyun circulated his true qi, the rainstorm point sealing needles in his body were forced out and stuck into a large tree. After forcing out the needles, Mo Qingyun circulated his true qi again to eliminate the remaining force of the needles. Mo Qingyun had only been hit by one needle, so the remaining force in his body was not strong. After an hour of hard work, Mo Qingyun finally eliminated all the remaining force in his body. However, after eliminating the force of the needles, Mo Qingyun unexpectedly discovered that the barrier of his cultivation level had loosened. This meant that he was about to break through. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun's expression was at first stunned, but then a look of pleasant surprise appeared on his face. Who would have thought that he would actually benefit from this disaster? Under the effect of the rainstorm point sealing needles, his cultivation level of the peak of the first level of the true qi realm was about to break through in advance. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately gathered the true qi in his body, preparing to break through the barrier of his cultivation level. After about 2 hours, the true qi in Mo Qingyun's body had been gathered to the extreme. Immediately, Mo Qingyun controlled the true qi in his body and began to break through the barrier of his cultivation level. Under the impact of the rich true qi, the barrier of his cultivation level was easily penetrated like a thin sheet of paper. He had successfully broken through to the second level of the true qi realm. After breaking through to the second level of the true qi realm, Mo Qingyun's strength had also multiplied. Feeling the rich true qi flow in his body, Mo Qingyun was confident that if he wanted to kill the 2 men of the true qi realm, he would be able to do so directly. Although his cultivation level had only increased by 1 level, Mo Qingyun could feel that he was at least 3 times stronger than before. In this way, his chances of victory against Enforcer Jiang and Enforcer Jiang had increased by a bit. "Kid, so this is where you were hiding." At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was immersed in the joy of breaking through, a cold laugh came from not too far away. The person who had spoken was one of Enforcer Jiang's companions, the man of the 4th level of the true qi realm. Who would have thought that he would find this place so quickly? However, Mo Qingyun was very happy about his appearance. At this moment, his cultivation had just broken through, and he needed a sparring partner to verify his current strength. With this person's cultivation at the 4th level of true Qi, he was the perfect sparring partner. Brat, the taste of the rainstorm acupuncture point sealing needle isn't bad, right? Do you feel that the blood in your body is clogged and your cultivation has dropped? The man sneered as he approached Mo Qingyun step by step. The way he looked at Mo Qingyun was like a ferocious beast staring at its prey. It is indeed not bad. If not for the torrential pressure point sealing needles, my cultivation would not have broken through so quickly. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and released the aura of a second-level true energy realm practitioner without reservation. Second stage of a true energy realm. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, the man's expression immediately changed, and he said in shock, "You broke through?" He never would have thought that Mo Qingyun would break through at this moment. Originally, he had thought that after being hit by the torrential pressure point sealing needles, Mo Qingyun's acupoints should have been sealed and his strength greatly reduced. But now, not only did the torrential pressure point sealing needles not have any effect, Mo Qingyun's cultivation had actually broken through. This huge contrast made it difficult for him to accept for a moment. The disparity between before and after was too great. He clearly remembered that when Mo Qingyun was only at the 1st level of the true Qi realm, killing people at the 2nd level of the true Qi realm was as easy as chopping vegetables. Now, that Mo Qingyun's cultivation had broken through to the 2nd level of the true Qi realm, what kind of battle prowess could he bring to bear would certainly be stronger than before. But how strong was he? He had no idea. Easily killing someone of the 3rd level of the true Qi realm? Fighting someone of the 4th level of the true Qi realm? Thinking of this, the man's expression turned serious, and he looked at Mo Qingyun with a hint of dread. "Kid, I admit that your performance surprised me," the man said with a serious expression. "But even if your cultivation has broken through, you are still no match for me. The difference of 2 levels is not something that can be easily overcome." Smoke-spitting ice maggot appear. Although he said that Mo Qingyun was no match for him, the man still directly summoned his martial soul. It was clear that his heart was not as relaxed as he made it out to be. Smoke-spitting ice maggot martial soul, grade 8 martial soul. Seeing this person's martial soul, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. He was somewhat surprised by this person's martial soul. Although the grade of the smoke-spitting ice maggot martial soul was not high, its martial soul's remarkable ability was very powerful. The ice maggot poison it spat out could poison others' true Qi and freeze their blood. Ice maggot poison. The man used his martial soul's remarkable ability as soon as he attacked, as if he planned to kill Mo Qingyun in one blow. As he attacked, a black mist spread out from his palm and quickly enveloped Mo Qingyun. When some leaves came into contact with this black mist, they instantly withered, and a layer of white frost appeared on their surface. It was clear that the martial soul's remarkable ability of the smoke-spitting ice maggot was indeed extraordinary. One had to be careful when dealing with it. Fire Dragon Seal. Seeing his opponent use his martial soul's remarkable ability, Mo Qingyun immediately counterattacked and summoned 27 Fire Dragon Seals. At this moment, Mo Qingyun no longer held back. Facing the ice maggot poison, he did not dare to be too careless. Once the 27 Fire Dragon Seals appeared, they immediately formed a flaming shield wall that emitted a terrifying heat wave. Under the power of the Fire Dragon Seals, the ice maggot poison quickly dissipated and was burned into nothingness as soon as it came near. How could this be? Seeing this scene, the man's expression changed drastically. He could not accept this result. He had always relied on his powerful skills, which were effective even against people of the 6th level of the true energy realm. But now, they were useless against Mo Qingyun, who was only at the 2nd level of the true energy realm. He was truly unable to accept this sudden turn of events. "You're done. It's my turn." Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to his opponent's shock. He smiled faintly and attacked. 9 heavy crash. Mo Qingyun punched out. The violent true energy on his fist instantly transformed into 9 true energy fist shadows that attacked his opponent. At this moment, the aura emitted by these 9 true energy fist shadows was several times stronger than before. Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun's attack, the man's expression changed. This attack made him feel a strong sense of danger. Green Lotus Ice Palm. Immediately, the man did not dare to hesitate. He immediately raised his hand to counterattack and punched out at the 9 fist shadows. After he punched out, a gust of cold, true energy gushed out from his palm and condensed into a green lotus flower that met the 9 fist shadows. Bang, bang, bang. When the fist shadows and the lotus flower collided, a series of muffled sounds immediately rang out. Waves of violent true energy waves wreaked havoc within. Under this violent true energy wave, Mo Qingyun and his opponent's body were both shaken and forced to retreat continuously. However, in comparison, Mo Qingyun had retreated further than his opponent. It seemed that his opponent had gained the upper hand in this collision. Kid, although I have to admit that you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve, the gap between our realms cannot be made up for. Seeing that he had gained the upper hand in this head-on clash, the man revealed a complacent smile and said, "Brat, why didn't you continue to use that soul attack of yours? If I'm not wrong, there should be some restrictions on using that technique. Why didn't I use it? Some limitations?" Hearing his opponent's words, Mo Qingyun could not help but be startled. Then he smiled playfully. At this moment, his opponent seemed to have misunderstood his action of using his opponent as a sparring partner. He had already exhausted his abilities. Mo Qingyun did not know whether to laugh or cry at this result. He could not help but feel sorry for his opponent. Chapter 81. Rustle, rustle, rustle. At this moment, the sound of leaves rustling came from nearby, following which, Mo Qingyun saw a figure rapidly approaching. It was Enforcer Jiang. Seeing Enforcer Jiang arrive, this person immediately revealed a complacent smile and sneered, "Kid, Enforcer Jiang has arrived. You're finished this time." "I'm finished this time?" Mo Qingyun smiled unconcernedly and replied, "Indeed, you're finished. But it's not me, it's you." In the process of exchanging blows with his opponent, he already knew the situation of his strength. Without using any of his trump cards, his current strength should be enough to deal with someone at the 3rd level of the true energy realm, comparable to someone at the 4th level of the true energy realm. Since he knew the depth of his strength, Mo Qingyun didn't want to continue playing with his opponent and immediately attacked with all his strength. Soul Heaven Seal following which, a soul battle seal was summoned and blasted towards this person with extreme speed, instantly blasting into his head. After being hit by the soul battle seal, the opponent let out a blood-curdling scream and said in horror, "You can actually use this kind of technique." "Did I say I couldn't?" Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and continued to attack. Blood Chi Berserk. Once the martial soul ability was used, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body immediately skyrocketed and reached the 5th level of the true energy realm in the blink of an eye. 5th level of the true energy realm. Feeling the aura on Mo Qingyun's body, this person's face immediately twitched and he said in horror, Your cultivation is at the 5th level of the true energy realm. Just now, Mo Qingyun had only used his cultivation at the 2nd level of the true energy realm and was able to fight him head-on. Now that Mo Qingyun had revealed his cultivation at the 5th level of the true energy realm, killing him would be as easy as playing a game. Thinking of this person's face suddenly panicked. Could it be that he was really going to die at the hands of Mo Qingyun? 9 heavy crash. Mo Qingyun didn't pay attention to his opponent's panic and raised his hand to punch towards him. With one punch, the surging true energy instantly formed 9 fist shadows, pouncing towards his opponent like fierce tigers. Green Lotus Ice palm facing Mo Qingyun's attack. The man hurriedly struck out with his palm to block Mo Qingyun's attack. Chi, however, Under Mo Qingyun's fish shadows, his palm print was like a piece of paper and was instantly destroyed. After dispersing the green lotus palm, the speed of the 9 fish shadows did not decrease. In the blink of an eye, they landed on the opponent's body. Puff! After being hit by the fish shadow, the man's body was sent flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. At this moment, his face was filled with unwillingness as he roared, "No, I don't want to die. You can't kill me." He couldn't accept it. Protector Jiang had already arrived, but he was about to be killed by Mo Qingyun. To him, this was simply one step into heaven and one step into hell. The arrival of Protector Jiang gave him hope. However, in the end, he was still going to be killed by Mo Qingyun, causing him to despair. This kind of ending was indeed a little cruel to him. Boom! As the man screamed, Mo Qingyun stomped down on his chest, stomping him into the ground. He couldn't be any more dead than this. With this, an expert of the 4th level of the true energy realm was dead. Kid, you killed Chang Zhongyun, who was at the 4th level of the true energy realm, was killed by Mo Qingyun in the blink of an eye. Protector Jiang was shocked. He couldn't believe what he had just seen. He knew Chang Zhongyun's cultivation level. He was truly at the 4th level of the true energy realm, but he was killed by Mo Qingyun, 5th level of the true energy realm. After a brief moment of shock, Protector Jiang sensed the change in Mo Qingyun's aura and was shocked again. So this was Mo Qingyun's true cultivation level. Mo Qingyun had been hiding his cultivation level all this time. This kid's scheming was too terrifying. They had been completely tricked by Mo Qingyun this time. But what terrified Protector Jiang the most was Mo Qingyun's age. How old was Mo Qingyun? He was only 16 or 17 years old, yet he was already at the 5th level of the true energy realm. Mo Qingyun's cultivation talent was too terrifying. Once someone offended such a person, it would be absolutely terrifying. Kid, this is the first time I've seen someone with such monstrous talent like you. Protector Jiang sighed and said coldly, "But it's because of this that you must die today." He was worried that if he killed Mo Qingyun today, once Mo Qingyun matured in the future, he would be his nightmare. Therefore, he had to kill Mo Qingyun at all costs. "I'm afraid you don't have the ability." Mo Qingyun's expression was grave. Protector Jiang's cultivation level at the 7th level of the true energy realm still brought him a lot of pressure. This was an expert at the advanced level of the true energy realm. His strength was not something an ordinary true energy realm person could compare to. Nonsense. The advanced level of the true energy realm is not as simple as you think. Protector Jiang sneered and said, "If you hadn't been running away, you would be a corpse now. But this time, I won't give you the chance to escape." Blazing Lion, appear. After saying that, Protector Jiang summoned his martial soul. Immediately, a monstrous heat wave spread out in the air. Above Protector Jiang, a 5-meter-long scarlet lion shadow appeared. Grade 10 Martial Spirit, Blazing Lion Martial Spirit. After seeing Protector Jiang's martial spirit, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He didn't expect Protector Jiang to have a grade 10 martial spirit. This was the second grade 10 martial spirit he had seen since his rebirth. "How is it? Are you scared?" Protector Jiang said proudly. Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, he thought that Mo Qingyun was scared by his blazing lion martial spirit. "Scared? You think too highly of yourself." Mo Qingyun shook his head. Blazing Scarlet Dragon, appear. After replying to Protector Jiang with disdain, Mo Qingyun no longer hid and summoned his Blazing Scarlet Dragon martial spirit. Once the Blazing Scarlet Dragon martial spirit was summoned, the dark forest was instantly lit up by a scarlet light. The 20-meter-long Blazing Scarlet Dragon martial spirit was like an emperor looking down at the Blazing Lion martial spirit. Facing the dragon power of the Blazing Scarlet Dragon martial spirit, the Blazing Lion martial spirit actually trembled. Dragon martial spirit, a superb martial spirit. After seeing Mo Qingyun's martial spirit, Protector Jiang's expression changed, and he said in shock, you actually have a superb martial spirit. Blazing Scarlet Dragon, devour. Mo Qingyun didn't respond to Protector Zhang's shock. He directly controlled the Blazing Scarlet Dragon martial spirit to devour the Blazing Lion martial spirit. Roar. The Blazing Scarlet Dragon martial spirit roared and twisted its huge body to devour the Blazing Lion martial spirit. Facing the attack of the Blazing Scarlet Dragon martial spirit, the Blazing Lion martial spirit didn't even have time to react before it was devoured. Puff! The martial spirit and the martial artist's mind were connected. When the martial spirit was devoured, Protector Zhang's mind was immediately injured. He spat out blood, and his face turned pale. Your martial spirit actually devoured my Blazing Lion martial spirit. Realizing that he had lost the connection with the Blazing Lion martial spirit, Protector Zhang's expression was a little frightened. At this moment, there was a slight change in the way he looked at Mo Qingyun. What Mo Qingyun had just displayed was too strange. It was completely beyond his understanding. Run. Thinking of this, Protector Zhang didn't dare to stay any longer. He immediately turned around and fled. At this moment, he was afraid. The means that Mo Qingyun had displayed had made him timid from the bottom of his heart. You only know how to run now. Do you think you can still escape? Chapter 82. Swift Shadow Steps. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his figure flashed as he quickly chased after Protector Zhang. At this moment, Mo Qingyun had activated the Swift Shadow Steps to the extreme. His movements were like a shadow. After a few flashes, he caught up with Protector Zhang and stood in front of Protector Zhang, blocking the former's path. Seeing that his path was blocked, Protector Zhang's face darkened as he said with a fearful expression, "Kid, don't go too far." Although on the surface, Mo Qingyun's cultivation was inferior to his, the feeling that Mo Qingyun gave him was too strange. Not only did he possess a secret skill that could attack the soul of others, but he also possessed a powerful martial skill and a shocking movement skill. In addition, Mo Qingyun's martial soul was also extremely powerful. It was actually able to devour his martial soul. If he had a choice, he wouldn't want to fight with someone like Mo Qingyun. Facing such a person, Protector Zhang felt fear from the bottom of his heart. It made him feel as if he was facing an unknown creature. He didn't know what kind of strange move Mo Qingyun would use in the next moment. Going too far? Mo Qingyun looked at Protector Zhang with disdain and said coldly, "Why didn't you think of this when you tried to kill us?" "Oomph." Protector Zhang snorted and said, "Kid, I have to admit that you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve, but I want to leave. With your current cultivation, you can't stop me." "Is that so?" Mo Qingyun squinted his eyes and said with a faint smile, "You overestimate your ability. My current cultivation is enough to kill you. Light Gate Martial Soul, appear." After saying that, Mo Qingyun didn't waste time talking nonsense with Protector Zhang and directly summoned the Sealed Gate Martial Soul. Suddenly, a door of light, exuding an ancient aura, appeared above Mo Qingyun. There's another martial soul. Seeing the white light gate martial soul appear, Protector Zhang's face immediately twitched. The fear on his face became even more intense. What kind of monster had he encountered? Twin martial spirits. In the entire Xia country, there probably wouldn't even be one in 100 years. He didn't know if he was lucky or unlucky to have encountered such an existence. "Seal gate, seal for me." As Enforcer Jiang stood there in shock, Mo Qingyun pointed a finger at him, and a miniature version of the Gate of Light appeared. As soon as the mini-light gate was formed, it blasted toward Protector Jiang at lightning speed. Facing the attack of the martial soul divine ability, the sealed door, Protector Jiang didn't even have time to react before he was directly hit. Puff! Protector Jiang spat out a mouthful of blood. His mind shook as he looked at Mo Qingyun in disbelief. Martial soul divine ability. That mini-light door was actually Mo Qingyun's martial spirit. Protector Zhang's expression twitched again. Not only did Mo Qingyun possess 2 martial spirits, he even awakened 2 martial spirit divine abilities. Was he still human? More importantly, Mo Qingyun's gate of light, martial spirit, divine ability was too strange. It could actually seal the power of his flesh and blood. This was simply a strong version of the rainstorm acupoint sealing needle. Could the power of this martial soul divine ability be any more monstrous? At this moment, Protector Jiang was about to go crazy. Under the sealing power of the gate of light martial spirit, his cultivation dropped to the 6th level of the true energy realm in a short while. Coupled with the fact that his martial spirit had been devoured and his mind was injured, the strength he could exert now was only comparable to the 5th level of the true energy realm. After this discovery, Protector Jiang's face turned ashen. The strength he could exert now was only comparable to Mo Qingyun's. With Mo Qingyun's many tricks, how could he resist Mo Qingyun? At this moment, Protector Jiang almost cursed all of Xue Ming's ancestors in his heart. What kind of monster had Xue Ming provoked? If it weren't for Xue Ming, how could he have provoked such a monstrous person like Mo Qingyun? Little brother, let's talk nicely. I had no choice when I attacked you earlier. Thinking of Mo Qingyun's strange behavior, Protector Jiang pleaded, as long as you let me go, I'll do anything. Let you go? Mo Qingyun curled his lips and said disdainfully, tell me a reason why I won't kill you. Remember, you only have one chance. As long as you let me go, I'll owe you a favor. How about that? Protector Jiang asked. Owe me a favor? Mo Qingyun looked at Protector Jiang with disdain and said disdainfully, do you think that your favor is valuable? Since your reason can't move me, you'd better die. Heavenly Soul Seal. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he didn't wait for Protector Jiang to speak and directly made his move. This time, Mo Qingyun didn't hold back at all. All 9 soul battle seals were unleashed. 9. Seeing the 9 soul battle seals, Protector Jiang's face turned pale and his body trembled. He already had a nightmarish fear of the soul battle seals. Just 1 soul battle seal hitting his soul was already too much for him, let alone 9 soul battle seals attacking him at the same time. However, Mo Qingyun didn't care about Protector Jiang's fear at all. Then, the 9 soul battle seals smashed into Protector Jiang's head one after another, severely injuring his soul as he watched in horror. Puff! Under the attack of the 9 soul battle seals, Protector Jiang immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Blood also flowed out of the corners of his eyes and nostrils. At this moment, his appearance couldn't be described as miserable. Boy, if you want to kill me, you'll have to pay a price. Seeing that he had no way out, Protector Jiang threw caution to the wind and fought with Mo Qingyun with all his might. Burning, mountain-breaking saber. Protector Jiang's palms moved at an extremely fast speed. Suddenly, a terrifying flame, real qi, gathered in his hands. Not long after, the flaming true qi transformed into a long saber and slashed toward Mo Qingyun at high speed. Puff! After using this martial skill, Protector Jiang spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. It seemed that he hadn't completely mastered this martial skill. His current performance was the result of the backlash after using the martial skill. What a powerful martial skill! Seeing Protector Jiang's attack, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He was surprised by the power of this martial skill. Judging from the power of this martial skill, it was at least at the middle stage of the Earth grade. Although he was surprised by the power of Protector Jiang's martial skill, Mo Qingyun didn't panic. This level of attack was still far from enough to kill him. Fire Dragon Seal. Mo Qingyun also punched out with his palms. 27 genuine Qi battle seals were immediately summoned by him and formed a huge flame battle shield. Once the flame battle shield was formed, it went toward the flame saber and collided with it. Bang! With a loud sound, a terrifying flame power raged in all directions. Under the power of this flame, some of the surrounding vegetation was instantly burned to ashes. Mo Qingyun and Protector Jiang were also affected by this heat wave and were forced to retreat. When the flame energy dissipated, Mo Qingyun's figure was nowhere to be seen in the area that had turned to ash. Protector Jiang sneered proudly and said, "Kid, the taste of my burning mountain-breaking saber is pretty good, right? Even if you have many tricks up your sleeve, you still died under my martial skill. You're too happy. This level of attack can't kill me." At this moment, when Protector Jiang was speaking proudly, Mo Qingyun's voice came from not far away. When he heard Mo Qingyun's figure, Protector Jiang panicked and said, "You didn't die. If you didn't die, how could I die?" Chapter 83. 9 Heavy Crash. As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun directly threw a punch at Enforcer Jiang. His actions were decisive and straightforward. With one punch, violent true qi instantly gathered and turned into 9 true qi fist shadows, attacking Enforcer Jiang at an extremely fast speed. At this moment, Enforcer Jiang was already an arrow at the end of its flight. Facing Mo Qingyun's attack, he could not even put up a basic resistance and was directly hit by the fist shadows. Bang, bang, bang. Following that, Protector Jiang's body flew out like a kite with a broken string and heavily fell to the ground. Poochie. After his body landed, Enforcer Jiang spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His face was even paler, and he could not move. Seeing Enforcer Jiang unable to get up from the ground, Mo Qingyun did not wait for him to speak and directly killed him again. After killing Enforcer Jiang, Mo Qingyun took away their Chinkoan bags. He would not let go of these spoils of war. Enforcer Jiang and the others were at the True Qi realm after all, so their Chinkoan bags were still somewhat valuable. After doing all this, Mo Qingyun got up and rushed back to Northern Desert Town. On the way back to Northern Desert Town, Mo Qingyun sealed a part of his cultivation and only showed that he was at the peak of body tempering stage 10. After all, his current cultivation was at the second stage of the True Qi realm. If the Mo clan saw him, they would definitely be stunned. The next morning, Mo Qingyun returned to Northern Desert Town. Seeing that it was still early, Mo Qingyun walked into a tea house. He planned to eat something before returning. The fragrance house was the tea house that Mo Qingyun entered at this moment. There were all kinds of snacks and the like sold inside. The business of the fragrance house was good. At this moment, the seats on the first floor were basically all occupied. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun directly went to the second floor and found an empty seat to sit down. He ordered some food. The fragrance house was very efficient. In a short while, the food that Mo Qingyun ordered was delivered. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to pick up his chopsticks and eat breakfast, woof, 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 a burst of fierce dog barking came from the entrance of the wafting fragrance house. Hearing this barking, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed slightly. Through the gap between the railings on the second floor, he looked towards the entrance of the House of Fragrance. He saw a young man in his early 20s walking in with his head held high and an arrogant expression on his face. Mo Qingyun had some impression of this young man. He was He Lingyu's cousin, and his name seemed to be He Chao. A few middle-aged guards followed behind He Chao. They all had a fierce look on their faces as they pushed away the people in front of them. Before long, He Chao arrived at the second floor of the floating fragrance residence under the clear path of several guards. "I'm reserving the second floor today. Tell them to scram." He Chao had an arrogant expression on his face as he scanned the crowd on the second floor. He raised his hand and pointed at the crowd. "Are you deaf? Didn't you hear what young master He Chao said? Get lost." Following He Chao's words, a middle-aged guard beside him roared fiercely at the crowd on the second floor. Hearing the guard's words, these people didn't dare to stay any longer and left in a panic. As the crowd left, Mo Qingyun, who was still sitting there and leisurely eating his breakfast, became particularly conspicuous. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was still sitting there, He Chao's expression turned ugly. He ordered someone behind him, break that kid's dog legs, and throw him down from the second floor. "Yes, young master He Chao." Hearing He Chao's order, this person immediately approached Mo Qingyun and sneered. "Kid, are you deaf? Didn't you hear what young master He Chao said just now? Who's He Chao? Is it that dog?" Mo Qingyun pointed at the dog in front of He Chao and said with a playful smile, But speaking of which, your young master He Chao looks quite brave. Quite brave. That dog? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people's expressions turned strange. Was that a compliment? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, He Chao's expression immediately became twisted, and he said angrily, Chun-san, come back here. I'm going to teach this kid a lesson myself. Hearing He Chao shout, the crowd of guards retreated. Then, He Chao walked towards Mo Qingyun and said with a gloomy expression, Kid, today, I broke through to body tempering stage 7. Coincidentally, I couldn't find a sparring partner, so I'll use you as a sparring partner. I'll let you see my new, powerful martial technique. After finishing his words, He Chao threw a punch at Mo Qingyun. His posture was quite decent. Young Master He Chao, break this kid's dog legs. Seeing that He Chao had made a move, the few guards immediately cheered. However, very quickly, the cheers of the few guards stopped abruptly. This was because they saw that He Chao, who had attacked Mo Qingyun, had been slapped into a spinning top by Mo Qingyun. After spinning for more than 10 rounds, He Chao finally stopped. However, at this moment, he was already feeling a little dizzy. After taking a few shaky steps forward, He Chao lost his balance and fell towards his guards. Coincidentally, He Chao's fall just so happened to hit the wolfhound's buttocks. After seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, Could it be that this is the martial skill you've just learned? Hungry dog's butt? Such a profound martial skill is really not something that an ordinary person can learn. Stinking brat, you're courting death. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had mocked him again, He Chao was instantly enraged. He shouted at the few people behind him, You guys go and break this kid's dog legs. Then, make him lick my dog, but clean. Yes, young Master He Chao. Upon hearing He Chao's words, the guards didn't dare hesitate in the slightest and immediately attacked Mo Qingyun. The strength of these guards was not strong. The strongest among them was only at the 9th level of body tempering realm. In Mo Qingyun's eyes, these people were all the same. They were practically no different from the 1st level of body tempering realm. Scram! Seeing that these people were approaching, Mo Qingyun's face darkened, and he struck out a palm towards them. Following that, a surge of true qi surged out from Mo Qingyun's palm and directly sent these people flying. One move. More than 10 people with a cultivation of the 5th level of body tempering realm and above were all sent flying by Mo Qingyun. This kind of technique could only be done by a true energy realm expert. In other words, the young man sitting there was actually an expert of the true qi realm. After this discovery, He Chao's expression instantly changed and his legs felt weak. At this moment, He Chao finally knew what kind of existence he had provoked. He was younger than him by a few years, but his cultivation had already reached the true energy realm. This talent was even more terrifying than his He clan's #1 genius. With his status in the He clan, he could only admit that he was unlucky to have provoked such an existence. After thinking about this, He Chao's face revealed a bitter smile and said to Mo Qingyun, Brother, I was just joking with you. It was all a misunderstanding. Please don't take it seriously. Oh, is that so? Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and looked at He Chao. Didn't you say you were going to break my dog's leg and let me lick your dog's butt clean? No, you heard wrong. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, He Chao hurriedly waved his hands. What I meant was that the hungry dog's butt move was not executed perfectly. I will perform it again for you to see. This time, I will definitely lick your dog's butt clean. Following that, He Chao raised his foot and broke the wolfhound's leg, then knelt down and licked the wolfhound's butt. So this is what you meant by breaking a dog's leg and licking its butt clean. You're quite humorous. After seeing He Chao's actions, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully. It was rare for him to continue bickering with He Chao. With his current status, bickering with a hedonistic young master like He Chao was somewhat beneath his status. After being disturbed by He Chao and the others, Mo Qingyun lost his appetite and stood up to walk out of the fragrance house. Chapter 84. Young Master He Chao, that That person just now seems to be young Master Mo Chinyan from the Mo clan. At this moment, a guest in the fragrance house said to He Chao with a face full of reverence, "What? He's Mo Chinyan." He Chao's expression suddenly changed, and he was extremely shocked. Although he had never seen Mo Chinyan before, he was still very familiar with the name Mo Chinyan. From what he knew, Mo Chinyan seemed to be a cultivation trash, and a few months ago, his cousin even broke off the engagement. But how did Mo Chinyan become so awesome in the blink of an eye? His cultivation had actually broken through to the true energy realm. No, impossible. Mo Chinyan is a trash. How could he have reached the true energy realm? He Chao shook his head continuously, unable to accept this reality. In a few months' time, a trash with extremely poor cultivation talent at the second level of the body tempering realm had actually become a true energy realm expert. To He Chao, this kind of thing was too bizarre. Even if he was beaten to death, he still wouldn't believe it. Young Master He Chao, recently I heard that Mo Chinyan from the Mo clan seems to have really become a cultivation genius. A guard beside He Chao said with a face full of fear, "Maybe that kid just now really was Mo Chinyan." Hearing the guard beside him say this, He Chao's heart was now somewhat convinced. He was a hedonistic person and rarely cared about the outside world. His understanding of Mo Chinyan was still stuck at a few months ago. Maybe in these few months, Mo Chinyan had encountered some great fortuitous encounter that caused his cultivation to break through consecutively. After thinking about this, He Chao immediately sucked in a breath of cold air and said with some lingering fear, "That kid Mo Chinyan's engagement was broken off by cousin Lingyu. He must hate our clan. Luckily, I was quick to react. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'd be in trouble." Quick to react? Hearing He Chao's words, the expressions of the surrounding crowd became somewhat strange as they looked at He Chao. This He Chao's skin was really thick. Licking someone's ass was actually called quick to react. After leaving the wafting fragrance residence, Mo Chinyan headed straight for the Mo clan. Half an hour later, Mo Chinyan returned to the Mo family. Once he returned to the Mo family, Mo Chinyan went straight to Mo Faping's residence, intending to inform them that he was safe. After all, they were ambushed by Xuan Ming and the others on the way back. When Mo Xian and the other girls came back, they would definitely tell Mo Faping about this matter. With Mo Faping's personality, he would definitely be worried. As expected, when Mo Chinyan arrived at Mo Faping's residence, Mo Faping was anxiously pacing back and forth in the courtyard. "Uncle." Upon seeing Mo Faping, Mo Chinyan greeted him. "Chinyan." Seeing that Mo Chinyan had returned, Mo Faping immediately relaxed. He patted Mo Chinyan's shoulder in surprise and said, "It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back." At this moment, Mo Faping's eyes were slightly moist. It was obvious how emotional he was. In addition, Mo Chinyan also saw that Mo Faping's eyes were bloodshot. It was probably the result of not sleeping for the entire night. After discovering this, Mo Chinyan was extremely touched. An indescribable feeling of kinship grew in his heart. "You must be exhausted after rushing all the way back." Mo Faping's face was full of love. He smiled faintly at Mo Chinyan and said, "Go and rest. I'll tell your grandfather and aunt that you're back." After saying this, Mo Faping walked out of the courtyard. Seeing Mo Faping's actions, Mo Chinyan was once again touched. This must be kinship. Soon, Mo Chinyan saw Mo Hontan, Mo Yuru, and the others arrive. They were all extremely excited. As for Mo Xiao and the other girls, when they saw that Mo Chinyan had returned safely, they grabbed on Mo Chinyan's clothes and cried tears of joy. Soon, Mo Chinyan's clothes were wet from crying. This made Mo Chinyan feel helpless. At this moment, Mo Xian pretended to be unhappy. She glared at Mo Chinyan and said, "You little brat, you only know how to play the hero. Do you know how worried we were when we came back?" "Ha, it won't happen again." Mo Chinyan smiled faintly. He was extremely touched. "You still want to have it next time?" Mo Xing glared at Mo Qingyun again. Then, she blamed herself and said, "It's all because I'm too weak. Otherwise, I would definitely be of help to you. I wouldn't have become your burden." "That's right. It's all because we're too useless." The two women, Mo Xiao and Mo Ling, revealed dejected expressions as they spoke with self-blame. Seeing the girls blaming themselves, Mo Qingyun was extremely touched. He smiled faintly and said, "Don't think too much about it. I'm fine now, aren't I? Don't stand. Let's sit down and talk." Mo Hongtian gestured for everyone to sit down. After everyone sat down, Mo Hongtian asked again, "Qingyun, tell us, how did you escape from those people?" Hearing Mo Hongtian's question, Mo Faping and the others were also curious. According to Mo Xin, the strongest person among them was at LV7 True Energy Realm. Everyone was extremely curious about how Mo Qingyun managed to escape unscathed. "It's like this. After Sister Mo Xin and the others left, I took Xuanming hostage and got into their carriage. Then, I drove away and threw Xuanming out of the carriage. As for why I took Xuanming hostage and drove away, they were probably afraid that I would fight to the death." Mo Qingyun changed the story a little to tell them the truth. After all, the fact that he had killed Guardian Jiang and the others was too shocking. If outsiders knew about this, he would be in great danger. Even the entire Mo clan would be implicated. Therefore, Mo Qingyun would not tell anyone about this until he was strong enough. Mo Qingyun had a plan in mind. Unless it was a real crisis, it would be better for him to not use his martial spirits ability. After all, his martial spirits ability was too powerful. As he listened to Mo Qingyun's narration, Mo Hongtian's face was filled with admiration. He nodded continuously at Mo Qingyun to express his approval. To be able to remain so calm when encountering such a situation at such a young age was not easy at all. Mo Hongtian and the others did not doubt the authenticity of Mo Qingyun's words. This was the only explanation. Otherwise, could it be that Mo Qingyun defeated his opponent and escaped? Was it possible for a peak 10th layer body tempering realm cultivator to defeat a 7th layer true energy realm cultivator? After listening to Mo Qingyun's story, Mo Hongtian looked at the time and said with a smile, "Get ready. We're heading to the ancestral tomb." After saying this, Mo Hongtian left Mo Faping's residence. Ancestral tomb. After hearing Mo Hongtian's words, Mo Qingyun asked with a confused expression, "The ancestral tomb is the remains of an ancient sect. It is also the origin of the northern desert town. Speaking of which, the people of the northern desert town are all descendants of this ancient sect. Therefore, every year, the major clans of the northern desert town would go to the ancestral tomb to pay their respects to their ancestors." Seeing Mo Qingyun's confusion, Mo Faping explained, "After paying respects to the ancestors, the great families will send their juniors into the ancestral veil to temper themselves. They will see if they can come across any fortuitous encounters and obtain some treasures left behind by their ancestors. This is what everyone calls the town council." So this is the town council. After hearing Mo Faping's explanation, Mo Qingyun understood. He had originally thought that the town council was just a sparring session between the juniors of the major clans of the northern desert town. He did not expect there to be such a secret behind the town council. He had misunderstood. About an hour later, an elder of the clan came to Mo Qingyun's residence and informed Mo Qingyun and the others to get ready to set off. After seeing this, Mo Qingyun and the others did not hesitate and walked out of the courtyard. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the others saw Mo Hongtian and the others lined up at the entrance of the Mo residence. "Let's go." Seeing Mo Qingyun and the others arrive, Mo Hongtian smiled and waved his hand. Chapter 85. Seeing the group move forward, Mo Qingyun and the rest did not hesitate and walked into the crowd. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk into the group, Mo Tsang's face darkened. He unconsciously sensed Mo Qingyun's cultivation. Peak of body tempering, stage 10. After learning about Mo Qingyun's cultivation, Mo Tsang was shocked at first. He was surprised by Mo Qingyun's progress. He didn't expect Mo Qingyun to improve so quickly, even though he hadn't entered the spiritual hall to cultivate. After a brief moment of surprise, the corner of Mo Tsang's mouth twitched as he sneered. Mo Qingyun, I remember during the family competition, you seem to have said that your cultivation would definitely enter the true Qi realm by the time the town assembly arrives, right? What does that have to do with you? Mo Qingyun looked at Mo Tsang with disdain and asked in return. It has nothing to do with me. It's just that I can't stand some people who like to boast. Mo Tsang had a mocking expression on his face as he said, your current cultivation should be at the peak of tempered body 10th stage. The gap between this and the true energy realm is not small. With your cultivation, don't embarrass the Mo clan during the town meeting and drag everyone down. Boast. Drag everyone down? Seeing that Mo Tsang thought that he was only at the peak of body tempering stage 10, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and said, it's hard to say who will drag everyone down. True strength is not based on the surface. Some people are no different from trash even if their cultivation breaks through to the peak of body tempering stage 10. The person Mo Qingyun was referring to was naturally Mo Tsang. Mo Tsang's cultivation was originally at the half-step true energy realm. After entering the spiritual hall to cultivate, his cultivation improved by leaps and bounds. In a short 2 months, not only did his cultivation break through to the true energy realm, but also reached the peak of body tempering stage 10. It was also because of this that Mo Tsang felt proud in his heart, as if he was a crane in a flock of chickens. What a sharp tongue! Hearing this, Mo Tsang's face darkened, and he raised his hand to attack Mo Qingyun. He said coldly, looks like I have to show you my strength. Now, I'll show you the difference between the true energy realm and the body tempering stage. Ghost Tiger Claw. Once Mo Qingyun attacked, he did not hold back his strength and clawed at Mo Qingyun. Looking at Mo Tsang's current stance, he intended to cripple Mo Qingyun with a single attack. This showed how much Mo Tsang hated Mo Qingyun. When Mo Hongtian and the others sensed the commotion behind them, their expressions changed. They turned around and looked behind them. Mo Tsang stopped. When Mo Tsang was Mo Qingyun's, Mo Tsang's sex, Mo. The suppressing assembly was about to begin, and now Mo Tsang had actually made a move against Mo Qingyun. They were fighting among themselves. This behavior was too stupid. If one of them was injured between him and Mo Qingyun, it would weaken the overall strength of the younger generation of the Mo family. After all, he and Mo Qingyun were the main figures in the younger generation of the Mo family. If both of them were injured, the Mo family would not be able to compete with the other families in the town meeting. At this moment, Mo Tsang had already decided to teach Mo Qingyun a lesson. Hence, after hearing the elder's words, he did not stop and continued to attack Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Mo Tsang did not stop, some elders did not dare to hesitate and immediately moved to stop Mo Tsang. Scram! At this moment, Mo Qingyun's face darkened as he faced Mo Tsang's sudden attack. He raised his hand to receive the attack. Bang! Then, the crowd saw the previously intimidating Mo Tsang being sent flying by Mo Qingyun's punch like a dead dog. Puffed. After Mo Qingyun's attack, Mo Tsang spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. One attack, Mo Tsang, who was at the peak of the first level of the true energy realm, was heavily injured by Mo Qingyun. At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded. This outcome greatly exceeded their expectations. Wasn't Mo Qingyun only at the peak of the 10th level of the body-tempering realm? Since when could a body-tempering realm martial artist be so awesome that he could easily crush a true energy realm martial artist? According to their imaginations, the outcome should have been the other way around. It should not have been like this. Trash will always be trash. Even after breaking through to the true energy realm, it's still the same. Mo Qingyun glanced at Mo Tsang, who was lying on the ground, and curled his lips in disdain. He shook his head and said, Mo Tsang, you're too weak. Too weak. After Mo Qingyun said this, the expressions of the surrounding people changed again, and they all laughed bitterly. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Tsang's face instantly flushed red. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a face full of anger and said while gnashing his teeth, You hid your cultivation. Your cultivation is not at the peak of the 10th level of the body-tempering realm. Mo Qingyun hid his cultivation again. After Mo Tsang said this, the expressions of the crowd changed again, and they all looked at Mo Qingyun with a bitter smile. Mo Qingyun could still hide his cultivation every time he pretended to be a pig to eat the tiger. What was even more unacceptable to them was that Mo Tsang was like an idiot and actually bumped into him every time. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Did I say that my cultivation is at the peak of the 10th level of the body-tempering realm? Mo Qingyun looked at Mo Tsang mockingly and said disdainfully, Do you think that everyone is like you? Not having much ability, yet you're so arrogant and condescending. If I were to use a phrase to describe you, it would be a full bucket of water makes no noise, but a half bucket of water makes a noise. After he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun unsealed some of his cultivation under the gazes of the crowd and Mo Qingyun. After a while, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body quickly rose and reached the true energy realm in the blink of an eye. True energy realm. Mo Qingyun's cultivation had actually reached the true energy realm. Feeling the aura on Mo Qingyun's body, everyone was shocked. Of course, besides the shock, their hearts were also filled with joy. Mo Qingyun's cultivation was at the true energy realm. This meant that the overall strength of the younger generation in the Mo family had risen to another level, and they would have a greater advantage in the town council. Good, very good. At this moment, seeing Mo Qingyun's true energy realm cultivation, Mo Hongtian's face was filled with ecstasy, and he cheered in relief. With such a grandson, what more could he ask for? This kid is hiding his strength again. He's always like this, making people worried and surprised at the same time. Mo Xen rolled her eyes at Mo Qingyun, but her face was also filled with joy. I knew it. How could Qingyun not have broken through to the true energy realm? I guessed it right again. Mo Xiao smiled and winked at Mo Ling beside him. Seeing this, Mo Ling also smiled sweetly. This kid, Mo Faping and Mo Yuru looked at each other and shook their heads in joy. At this moment, under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun said to Mo Tsang again, Even with the help of the spiritual hall, you're only at the peak of LV1 true energy realm. I really don't know what you have to show off. With your strength, don't drag everyone down in the town council. After saying this disdainfully to Mo Tsang, Mo Qingyun turned around and walked forward, ignoring the dazed Mo Tsang. Don't drag everyone down? Wasn't this what he had said to Mo Qingyun earlier? Now, in just a short moment, Mo Qingyun had returned the exact same words to him, but he could not refute it. At this moment, Mo Tsang's heart was filled with bitterness, and a strong sense of defeat grew in his heart. All right, let's continue on our way. Seeing that the time had come to an end, Mo Hongtian waved his hand at the crowd, indicating that they should continue on their way. Hearing Mo Hongtian's words, the crowd no longer hesitated and continued on their way. However, at this moment, the way the crowd looked at Mo Qingyun had changed. This youth had surprised them again at this moment. Chapter 86. The ancestral tomb was located in a secluded mountain range a few miles outside of northern desert town. About 2 hours later, Mo Qingyun and the rest arrived at the ancestral tomb. By the time the people from the Mo clan arrived, some of the other clans had already arrived. Brother Hong Tian, your Mo clan is late this time. Some of the other clans greeted Mo Hong Tian when they saw him arrive. Mo Hong Tian smiled faintly and replied courteously to the crowd's greetings. Soon, the Song clan and He clan members walked towards the Mo clan members. As the Song clan members approached, Song Zaheo walked out from the crowd and stood in front of Mo Chinyan. Mo Chinyan, I heard that you're now the #1 junior in the Mo clan. Song Zaheo's face was full of mockery as he said this. He shook his head in disappointment and said, the Mo clan is one of the 3 major clans in Northern Desert Town. I didn't expect that the #1 junior in the Mo clan this year would only be at the peak of body tempering stage 10. How disappointing. It's enough to deal with you, Mo Chinyan said calmly. Aren't you afraid of slapping your own tongue? Just as Mo Chinyan finished speaking, Song Shuyun, who was beside Song Zaheo, revealed a disdainful expression and said, Mo Chinyan, there's no harm in telling you that my big brother is now at the 3rd level of the True Energy Realm. True Energy Realm LV3. After Song Shuyun said this, the expressions of the surrounding people changed. They were shocked by Song Zaheo's cultivation. Under normal circumstances, it was already considered good if there were 1 or 2 juniors at the True Energy Realm in the town meeting every year. They didn't expect Song Zaheo's cultivation to have reached True Energy Realm LV3. This was too strong. Because of this, the elders of the surrounding clans looked at the Song family with eyes full of envy. The Song clan was really lucky to have a junior like Song Zaheo. At this moment, many people believe that if there were no accidents, the Song clan would definitely take first place in this town meeting. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Song Zaheo proudly raised his head and proudly said, Mo Chinyan, do you still think you can deal with me now? Song Zaheo continued, your improvement has indeed surprised me. But even so, you are still not worth mentioning in front of me. After entering the ancestral tomb, you'd better pray that I don't meet you. Otherwise, I don't mind teaching you a lesson again. At the end of his speech, Song Zaheo deliberately emphasized the word teach. Clearly, his intention was not as simple as just teaching him a lesson. When Song Zaheo finished speaking, Song Shuyun, who was beside him, said proudly, Mo Chinyan, are you regretting saying such ignorant words just now? Regret. Mo Chinyan narrowed his eyes and looked at Song Zaheo, then looked at Song Shuyun and said playfully, you're only at the 3rd level of the True Energy Realm. Most of the time, a person's true strength can't be determined by their cultivation on the surface. When Mo Chinyan said these words, the expressions of the younger generation of the Mo clan unconsciously changed. Especially Mo Tsong. His face seemed to flush red as he faintly felt a sense of humiliation. Ha! Mo Chinyan, you really know how to joke. When he heard Mo Chinyan's words, Song Zaheo immediately laughed heartily and said, don't tell me you think that with your cultivation at the peak of the 10th level of the body tempering realm, you still have the ability to retaliate in front of me. Whether I have the ability to retaliate or not, we'll know when the time comes. Mo Chinyan indifferently replied Song Zaheo. He smiled playfully and said, also, let me tell you, I'm a very vengeful person. What you gave me in the past, I'll definitely return it to you in the town meeting. You'd better not let me meet you in the ancestral tomb. When he said these words, a cold light flashed across Mo Chinyan's eyes. When he was reborn, he had sworn an oath that he would avenge his predecessor. Therefore, this Song Zaheo had to die. If Mo Chinyan were to meet Song Zaheo in the ancestral tomb, he would definitely kill him. Fine, I'd like to see how you're going to take revenge on me. Song Zaheo laughed coldly and confronted Mo Chinyan. In an instant, a strong smell of fire spread out between Mo Chinyan and Song Zaheo. At this moment, when Mo Chinyan and Song Zaheo were talking, all the clans had arrived. Seeing that all the clans had arrived, Mo Hongtian, He Qiansheng, and Song Su walked out and said, since everyone is here, let's start the ancestral worshipping ceremony. After a while, various items for worshipping the ancestors were brought out one after another. Around an hour later, the ancestral worshipping ceremony came to an end. After the ancestral worshipping ceremony, it was time for the town meeting. Seeing this, Mo Hongtian and the others did not hesitate and began to explain the rules of the town meeting. In a while, each of you will be given an identity token. With this identity token, you can enter any residence in the ancestral tomb. After entering the ancestral tomb, you can also snatch other people's identity tokens. This is because the number of identity tokens you have will determine your results in the first round. If you want to gain something in the ancestral tomb and achieve a good result in the town meeting, you must protect the identity token that will be given to each of you. Mo Hontian and the others explained the rules of the first round of the town meeting to everyone. After listening to Mo Hontian and the others, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly, and he revealed a playful smile. In this way, the following competition would probably be a lot more intense and cruel. It seemed that this town meeting was no longer just an exchange of pointers between the younger generation of clans. It was more like a competition between the clans, using this method to weaken the foundations of the other clans. After all, when a younger generation entered the ancestral tomb and fought for the identity tokens, some of them would definitely die. The hope of a clan all rested on the younger generation. If all the younger generation of a clan died, the clan would not last long. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the others received their identity tokens. A total of 180 people entered the ancestral tomb. Everyone, let's begin. Seeing that the identity tokens had been distributed, Mo Hongtian and the other two nodded to the other clan leaders. Then, each clan leader took out a key and inserted it into the keyhole of the stone door of the ancestral tomb. After the key was inserted into the keyhole, the stone door of the ancestral tomb immediately shook and slowly opened. Boom, boom, boom. When the stone door was opened, the entire ground began to shake, producing a series of loud noises. After the stone door was opened, an ancient aura spread out and the remains of this ancient sect appeared before everyone. The stone door can only be opened for half an hour. Everyone, enter the ancestral tomb immediately. Seeing that the stone door of the ancestral tomb was opened, He Qiansheng immediately urged the younger generation. Chapter 87. As soon as Mo Qingyun entered the ancestral tomb, he felt a dark and corrosive aura. The lighting in the ancestral tomb was not good, so he could barely see the surroundings within a 10-meter radius. After scanning the surroundings, Mo Qingyun saw some grayish-white shadows floating around them. These grayish-white figures were emitting a cold, bloodthirsty, and resentful aura. These are spirits and vengeful spirits. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He did not expect such things to appear in the ancestral tomb. At this moment, before Mo Qingyun could think further, the vengeful spirits and spirits pounced on them as if they had gone mad. Spirits and vengeful spirits did not have a physical body. Although they could not cause physical harm, they could hurt one's soul. Therefore, compared to other demonic beasts, they were much more dangerous. It's spirits and vengeful spirits. Everyone run. Being attacked by the spirits and vengeful spirits, someone screamed in fear. After a while, the people at the entrance started to run for their lives. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun frowned and released his soul power to sense the surroundings. He wanted to find Mo Xin and see if she was nearby. After sensing for a while, Mo Qingyun realized that Mo Xin was not here. She must have left just now. Seeing that Mo Xin had left, Mo Qingyun did not deliberately look for her. He thought to himself, with Sister Mo Xion's true energy realm cultivation, she should be able to protect herself. Luckily, Xiao Xiao did not come in. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, if even true energy realm cultivators were in danger in the ancestral tomb, then the Northern Desert Towns clans wouldn't have allowed these juniors in the 7th and 8th stage of the body-tempering realm to come along. The juniors were the future of the family. They would not let these juniors die in vain. Heavenly Soul Seal, looking at the vengeful spirit that was attacking him, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and pointed. A soul battle seal was released and blasted towards the vengeful spirit. Under the attack of the soul battle seal, the vengeful spirit let out a scream and disappeared. At this time, when Mo Qingyun defeated the vengeful spirits and specters around him, he was surprised to find that the surrounding people who were attacked by these vengeful spirits and specters were behaving extremely strangely. At this moment, these people had lifeless expressions, as if they had lost their souls. These people seemed to be under the control of vengeful spirits and spirits. Could it be possession? But it doesn't seem like it. Mo Qingyun furrowed his brows, his heart filled with doubt. He thought to himself, "It seems that there are many secrets hidden in this ancestral tomb. There are many unknown dangers. It's not as simple as everyone says. I'll have to be more careful from now on." With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun became more cautious and headed deeper into the ancestral tomb. Contrary to Mo Qingyun's expectations, the number of vengeful spirits and ghosts in the ancestral tomb had become extremely low. Although Mo Qingyun was a little surprised by the decrease in the number of ghosts and vengeful spirits, he did not pay too much attention to it. As he went deeper into the ancestral tomb, some dilapidated mansions and palaces gradually appeared in front of Mo Qingyun's eyes. Although these palaces were dilapidated from the scale and aura, it could be seen that this ancient sect was still relatively strong in the past. At least, Mo Qingyun felt that the Alchemist Alliance in Lianyan City was not as strong as this ancient sect. After a while, a well-preserved mansion appeared in front of Mo Qingyun's eyes. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun walked in, wanting to see if he could gain anything inside. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that when he walked into the mansion, he found that there were already a few people inside. When these people saw Mo Qingyun, they were first stunned, then they sneered. "Kid, hand over your identity card, kowtow, and beg for mercy. Then, get out of here and we can spare your life." One of them raised his head and ordered Mo Qingyun. "Let's go," Mo Qingyun said. "Hand over my identity card and you won't kill me." Hearing this person's words, Mo Qingyun smirked and said, "How about this? Hand over your identity cards to me and kowtow and admit your mistakes. Then I will spare your lives." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, these people were stunned. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to reply like this. Then they laughed as if they had heard the funniest joke. They were all at body tempering stage 8 and stage 9. Mo Qingyun actually dared to talk to them like this. He was really courting death. Could it be that Mo Qingyun thought that he could defeat all of them by himself? Haha, did you hear that? This kid wants us to hand over our identity cards and kowtow to him. Who does he think he is? Song Zaheo from the Song family? He's an expert at true energy stage 3. Forget it. He's just a kid with some mental issues. Just send him away. This kid must be from that family to make up the numbers. Let him go in and die, so that the family's elites don't get killed. These people mocked Mo Qingyun. "Kid, I'm afraid you've never seen a martial skill before. I'll show you now. I silkworm inner strength." As soon as this person finished speaking, he threw a palm towards Mo Qingyun and executed a martial skill. When this person attacked, Mo Qingyun sensed a faint cold chi emanating from that person's palm. However, this chill was too weak to cause any harm. Thus, Mo Qingyun could not dodge it. Bang! Then, this person's palm landed squarely on Mo Qingyun's body. "Kid, with your strength, you dare to ask us to hand over our identity cards and kowtow to you." Seeing that his palm had landed on Mo Qingyun, this person immediately revealed a look of disdain and sneered at Mo Qingyun. But soon, he felt that something was wrong and his expression changed. This was because Mo Qingyun was actually completely fine after taking his attack. He stood in the same spot and didn't even move. Doesn't this mean that his attack did not cause any harm to Mo Qingyun? His cultivation was at body tempering stage 9, and Mo Qingyun was fine after taking his full force attack. What was Mo Qingyun's cultivation? At this moment, these people were dumbfounded. This time, they seemed to have hit a brick wall. Could it be that Mo Qingyun's cultivation was at the true energy realm? Is this a martial skill? Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and shook his head. It doesn't seem like much. After that, Mo Qingyun slowly took a step forward while everyone was still in shock. As soon as Mo Qingyun took a step forward, wind blades appeared around his body and swept wildly. Chi chi chi. Under these wind blades, these people's bodies were soon covered in wounds. After realizing this, these people were so scared that they almost peed their pants. Their faces were filled with terror. Just one step forward and they were all severely injured. What kind of skill was this? What kind of freak did they offend? At this moment, they lost their ability to think and their legs turned to jelly. Big brother, we were blind to not recognize Mount Tai. We'll give you our identity badges. Please don't kill us. Then, these people did not dare to hesitate and immediately kowtowed and begged for mercy. Seeing their pants wet, Mo Qingyun gave them a disdainful look and took their identity badges. He said coldly, "Piss off. Thank you, big brother, for not killing us." After hearing Mo Qingyun telling them to piss off, they immediately ran away as if they had been granted amnesty. After leaving the mansion, these people were still in a state of shock. They said in fear, "Who was that guy? How could such a terrifying guy enter the ancestral tomb? I thought those above the age of 20 couldn't enter the ancestral tomb." One of them said with a pale face, "Do you think that guy was Song Zaheo? I've seen Song Zaheo before. He's definitely not Song Zaheo, but I feel that he's even scarier than Song Zaheo." Another person said, "Stop talking nonsense. Let's run. If that guy changes his mind, we won't be able to escape." At this moment, a ninth-layer body-tempering realm cultivator said, Chapter 88. Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to the few people who were running away quickly. He looked at the 5 identity badges in his hand. Not bad. Mo Qingyun was quite satisfied with the 5 identity badges he had obtained in one go. After putting away the identity badges, Mo Qingyun walked into a room in the mansion. Once he entered the room, Mo Qingyun saw many skeletons lying on the ground or leaning against the wall. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he was shocked. With Mo Qingyun's insight, he immediately saw that everyone in the room had been killed by one move. In one move, he had killed more than 10 martial artists, but he had not damaged their bones in the slightest. This ability was quite terrifying. Soul Secret Skill. These people must have been killed by the Soul's Secret Skill. After seeing the cause of death of these people, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He was surprised by the result. Only by using the Soul Secret Skill to kill people would one not damage the opponent's bones. This was the current situation. Mo Qingyun was very curious. How did this ancient sect provoke such an existence? Why was the other party so ruthless? In Mo Qingyun's opinion, with the strength of this ancient sect, it was not enough to attract the attention of the other party. After calming himself down, Mo Qingyun continued to walk into the room to see if there was anything valuable. Perhaps it had been too long, or perhaps the things in the room had already been taken by someone else. Now, in the room, besides the skeletons, there was nothing valuable. After seeing this, Mo Qingyun walked out of the room. After that, Mo Qingyun entered the other rooms one after another. The result was the same. There was nothing valuable. In addition, from the way the people in the other rooms had died, they were also killed by one move using the Soul Secret Skill. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he said in shock, "Could it be that everyone in this sect was killed in a single move? One move to kill everyone in the sect. The strength of the person who did this was too terrifying. For someone to be able to do this, his soul cultivation is at least at the Heaven Palace realm." Mo Qingyun made a simple conjecture. His expression became more serious, and his mood became a little heavy. What is the reason for this strong man of the Heaven Palace realm to come here and kill everyone in this sect? With these questions in mind, Mo Qingyun left the residence and headed for the other residences in the ancestral tomb. During this process, Mo Qingyun encountered many people who wanted to snatch his identity card, but the result was the same. Their identity cards were all snatched away by him. Several hours later, the number of identity badges Mo Qingyun had suddenly increased to more than 30. In other words, out of a total of 180 identity badges, 1/6 of them had fallen into his hands. Mo Qingyun didn't know whether to laugh or cry at this result. It seemed that he had plundered too much, but since it was delivered to his doorstep, he couldn't reject it. Have you all heard? The Song family is joining forces with the He family to massacre the Mo family. I heard about it a long time ago. Several juniors of the Mo family have died. Only Mo Xian, Mo Song, and Mo E are left. I heard that Mo Xian is being hunted down by He Guang. Moreover, Mo Xian seems to be injured. At this time, the voices of these people's conversation came into Mo Qingyun's ears. The He family. Hearing these people's words, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. His body emitted a murderous intent, and he said coldly, "It seems that I've been too kind. You just said that Mo Xian was being hunted down by He Guang. Where is Mo Xian now?" Mo Qingyun asked coldly as he grabbed one of the people in the group. "It's in a mansion about 1 li to the west of this place." Under Mo Qingyun's terrifying aura, this person answered with a pale face, "You better not lie to me." Mo Qingyun's body moved after he heard the other party's reply. His figure flashed a few times and disappeared from their line of sight. Hiss! That person was so terrifying. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk away, these people sucked in a breath of cold air and said with lingering fear. At this moment, in a residence in the ancestral tomb, Mo Xian, you can't escape. Hand over the spiritual energy pills. At this moment, in front of Mo Xian, a young man of about 18 or 19 years old said coldly to Mo Xian, "He Guang, don't go too far. I was the one who found these spiritual energy pills." Mo Xian's face darkened as she said angrily. Previously, Mo Xian was lucky to find this bottle of spiritual energy pills in a residence. However, for some reason, He Guang of the He family found out about it and chased after her. So what? The treasures in the ancestral tomb belong to the capable. I advise you to hand them over obediently. He Guang sneered proudly. He sized up Mo Xian's body and smiled evilly. To be honest, I can't bear to lay my hands on a beauty like you. Of course, if you're willing to serve me from now on, I can give you some of the spiritual energy pills. Shameless. Hearing He Guang's vulgar words, Mo Xian was embarrassed and angry. She cursed at He Guang. Shameless? He Guang sneered at Mo Xian's words and said, "When I let you experience the feeling of ascension, you won't say that. At that time, you'll beg me to do it." You! Hearing He Guang's words getting worse and worse, Mo Xian was so embarrassed and angry that she attacked He Guang directly. Fire Silk Phoenix Dance. Mo Xian's body moved. Like a fire phoenix, she danced and attacked He Guang. As Mo Xian's body danced, a powerful flame, true qi, erupted from her body. Mo Xian, this level of attack isn't enough to hurt me. Seeing Mo Xian attack, He Guang smiled disdainfully. Although we're both in the true energy realm, I've awakened a martial soul super ability. Now, I'll show you the power of a martial soul super ability. Sky Milky Way. He Guang attacked with both palms. The river martial soul above his head immediately turned into a curtain of water and blocked in front of him. As soon as the curtain of water appeared, it blocked Mo Xian's attack and hit her body. Pucci. After being hit by the curtain of water, Mo Xian's body was pushed back and she spat out a mouthful of blood. Seeing that Mo Xian was pushed back by his attack, He Guang sneered proudly. Mo Xian, I'll give you one last chance. Hand over the spiritual energy pill and be my servant in the future, and I can spare your life. Otherwise, don't blame me for not knowing how to be gentle to a woman. Unless I die. Mo Xian gritted her teeth and attacked He Guang again. You're courting death. Seeing Mo Xian attack again, He Guang's face darkened and he raised his hand to counterattack. Bang! After another collision, Mo Xian's body was sent flying again. At this moment, He Guang did not show mercy. He attacked Mo Xian again and said savagely, "Since you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me for being ruthless." Then, He Guang attacked Mo Xian with his palm. His action was extremely vicious. Seeing He Guang's attack, Mo Xian showed a trace of despair, and she unconsciously closed her eyes. Bang! However, at this moment, a muffled sound came from in front of Mo Xian. Then, Mo Xian saw that He Guang's body was pushed back by a punch. Mo Qingyun, it was Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had arrived, Mo Xian's lips curled into a sweet smile. It was captivating. Sister Mo Xian, leave the rest to me. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at Mo Xian. Okay. Chapter 89. Mo Qingyun's sudden appearance made the expressions of He Guang and the rest change, revealing a trace of vigilance. They did not expect Mo Xian to have a helper at such a crucial moment. Peak body tempering, stage 10. However, when He Guang discovered that Mo Qingyun was only at the peak of body tempering stage 10, his face was filled with disdain. Even Mo Xian was no match for him, let alone a 10th layer body tempering realm cultivator. What could a 10th layer body tempering realm cultivator do? Kid, I admire your courage. You know that you are no match for me, but you still dare to step forward. He Guang looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain and smirked. Are you trying to be a hero and save the damsel in distress? Your strength is not enough. How about this? You kowtow to me and beg for mercy, cripple your own cultivation, and bark like a dog 3 times. Later, when I play with Mo Xian, I'll allow you to watch from the side. After He Guang finished his words, he laughed heartily in an unbridled manner. I also admire your courage to speak to me like that. Mo Qingyun's face darkened as he said coldly, however, even if you kowtow to me and beg for mercy, cripple your cultivation and bark like a dog, I will not let you go. Did you hear that? He said he will not let me go. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, He Guang laughed again and said to the group, Brother He Guang, this kid is probably trying to save his face. He does not want to embarrass himself in front of women. In my opinion, this kid must be extremely scared. Maybe he has already wet his pants. Kid, Brother He Guang, is the 3rd genius of our He clan. Even Mo Tsang from your Mo clan is no match for him. As for that Mo Qingyun from your Mo clan, I think he is not even qualified to carry Brother He Guang's shoes. The few followers behind He Guang said in a fearless tone, not even qualified to carry his shoes? Hearing them say that he was not even qualified to carry He Guang's shoes, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully. On the other hand, Mo Xian looked at He Guang sympathetically. These people did not even know who Mo Qingyun was, yet they dared to say such things. Kid, to show you the difference between the body tempering stage and the true stage, I will let you make the first move. He Guang said to Mo Qingyun with a disdainful attitude. Let me make the first move? Hearing He Guang's words, the smile on Mo Qingyun's lips deepened as he said, I hope you don't regret it later. Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately attacked He Guang. 9-stage crash. As soon as Mo Qingyun made his move, the aura on his body immediately soared, reaching the level of true Qi realm. The powerful true Qi on his fist immediately transformed into 9 true Qi fist shadows, smashing down on the shocked He Guang. You're not at the peak of body tempering stage 10. You're at the true energy realm. Feeling the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, He Guang was shocked, and a trace of panic flashed at his eyes. Mo Qingyun's cultivation was not at the peak of the body tempering stage 10, but at the true stage like He Guang. However, He Guang did not have time to think, as Mo Qingyun's fist was already in front of him. Sky Milky Way. Seeing this, He Guang did not dare to hesitate, and immediately used his martial soul super ability. Soon, a water curtain appeared in front of He Guang and blocked Mo Qingyun's fist. However, under Mo Qingyun's fist, He Guang's martial soul super ability could only block for a moment before it was destroyed. Bang, bang, bang. Then He Guang was hit by a series of fist shadows, and his body flew out. Puff! After He Guang fell to the ground, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale as he looked at Mo Qingyun in fear. He did not expect Mo Qingyun to be so strong. In front of Mo Qingyun, He Guang did not even have the strength to fight back. Is this the difference between the body-tempering stage and the true stage? Mo Qingyun said with a smile. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, He Guang's face turned red. He said in a panic, "Who are you? Why are you meddling in other people's business?" "Who am I?" Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and said, "I am Mo Qingyun. Didn't they say that I'm not even qualified to carry your shoes? How come you don't even know who I am?" Mo Qingyun. After hearing Mo Qingyun's identity, He Guang and the rest were stunned as if they were struck by lightning. They did not expect that the person they disdained was standing right in front of them, and they did not recognize him. What shocked them even more was that Mo Qingyun actually had such terrifying strength. Even He Guang, who was at the true stage, was not a match for Mo Qingyun's one move. If that was the case, Mo Qingyun would be able to enter the top 5 in this town meeting. When they thought of this, He Guang and the rest were terrified. They fearfully said to Mo Qingyun, "Mo Qingyun, what do you want? We are all direct descendants of the He clan. If you dare to touch us, the He clan will not let you go." Direct descendants of the He clan? So what? Mo Qingyun said disdainfully. When you were chasing after Sister Mo Exen, why didn't you think that she is a direct descendant of the Mo clan? Could it be that your He clan is superior to others? After being questioned by Mo Qingyun, He Guang and the rest were speechless. They could not refute him. After a short moment of silence, He Guang and the rest immediately begged for mercy. Mo Qingyun, don't kill us. As long as you don't kill us, we will do anything. I just said that even if you kowtow and beg for mercy, I will still kill you. So die. Seeing that He Guang and the rest were speechless, Mo Qingyun did not waste time talking nonsense with them. He directly raised his hand and attacked them. Fire Dragon Seal. In an instant, 27 true Qi battle seals were all summoned by Mo Qingyun. They quickly flew towards He Guang and the rest. Facing the bombardment of 27 true Qi battle seals, He Guang and the rest did not even have the chance to resist. They were instantly killed by Mo Qingyun. However, before He Guang died, he said viciously, "Mo Qingyun, don't be so proud. After the town meeting, your Mo clan will be destroyed." After the town meeting, the Mo clan will be destroyed? Hearing He Guang's words, Mo Qingyun frowned. A faint sense of worry rose in his heart. However, Mo Qingyun did not think too much about it. This was not something that he could control. "Qingyun, let's go." At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was putting away He Guang and the rest Chinku in bags, Mo Xian walked over. "Okay." Mo Qingyun nodded and left the mansion with Mo Xian. "Sister Mo Xian, after you came in, did you meet Brother Mo, and the rest?" Mo Qingyun asked. "No. After I came in, I saw many spirits and vengeful spirits attacking. Then I attacked and killed my way out." Mo Xian recounted her experience. "After that, I looked for fortuitous encounters in the ancestral tomb. Not long ago, I found some spiritual energy pills in a mansion. I didn't expect He Guang to find out and chase me all the way here. Along the way, I heard that the Song and He clans were attacking my Mo clan. I'm a little worried about the safety of Brother Mo, and the rest." Mo Qingyun looked worried. He had a good impression of Mo. "Then let's head towards the interior of the ancestral tomb. I think they should be heading there. That's the exit to the ancestral tomb," Mo Xian said to Mo Qingyun. "Okay, let's hurry." Chapter 90. In the time that followed, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xian shuttled back and forth from one residence to another. Unfortunately, they didn't find much. Occasionally, they would find 1 or 2 bottles of low-grade pills or 1 or 2 books of ordinary martial skills. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but wonder if the precious items in the ancestral tomb had been taken away by someone else. As they ventured deeper into the ancestral tomb, the spirits and vengeful spirits that appeared were much stronger. A single spirit or vengeful spirit was enough to threaten a 10th-layer body-tempering cultivator. Fortunately, they hadn't gained intelligence and would only attack those who approached them instinctively. However, for Mo Qingyun, with his virtual realm's soul cultivation, dealing with these spirits was a piece of cake. Mo Xion's eyes widened as she watched Mo Qingyun execute the heavenly soul seal and kill these spirits and vengeful spirits as if they were vegetables. These vengeful spirits and spirits didn't have any reaction to her attacks, but Mo Qingyun killed them as if they were vegetables. She had to admit that this scene was a huge blow to her. Fortunately, Mo Xion wasn't an indecisive person. She was relieved after a short while. Just like that, 2 days later, Mo Qingyun and Mo Xion arrived at the deepest part of the ancestral tomb. There was a stone platform that shone brightly. It was the exit of the ancestral tomb that Mo Xion had mentioned earlier. Qingyun, let's go out, Mo Xion said to Mo Qingyun when they arrived at the exit. Tomorrow is the last day of our stay in the ancestral tomb. I think Brother Mo, and the rest have already left the ancestral tomb. Mo Qingyun nodded. He pondered for a moment and said to Mo Xion, Sister Mo Xion, you can go out now. I plan to take a look around the ancestral tomb. Mo Xion hesitated for a moment when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. Then she said, all right then, be careful. I'll leave the ancestral tomb first. Then Mo Xion stepped into the light of the stone platform and disappeared before Mo Qingyun's eyes in the blink of an eye. Seeing Mo Xion leave the ancestral tomb, Mo Qingyun retraced his steps and walked towards an inconspicuous palace. When he entered the palace with Mo Xion just now, he could clearly feel an obscure aura emanating from this place. After walking into the palace, Missouri Qingyun released his spiritual strength and sensed the obscure aura fluctuations from before. Underground, not long after, Mo Qingyun frowned as he sensed the source of that obscure aura fluctuation. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun began to search for the entrance to the underground. Soon, he found a hidden passageway. As soon as he entered the passageway, the aura from before was clearly stronger. In addition, what surprised Mo Qingyun even more was that there was actually a strong fluctuation of blood qi inside the tunnel. Why is there such a strong blood qi fluctuation below? With strong doubts and curiosity, Mo Qingyun increased his speed and walked deeper into the tunnel. After a while, Mo Qingyun came to the end of the tunnel and was stunned by the scene in front of him. At the end of the tunnel was a place that looked like an altar. In the center of the altar was a huge blood pool. At this moment, around the blood pool, there were many figures that jumped into the altar one after another. As soon as these figures entered the altar, they turned into blood water in the blink of an eye. What shocked Mo Qingyun even more was that the figures that jumped into the altar were all juniors of the various large clans who had participated in the town meeting and entered the ancestral tomb. After a short moment of shock, Mo Qingyun checked the blood pool again. Mo Qingyun's expression changed drastically as soon as he saw it. Judging from the runes around the blood pool, this should be the infamous 10,000 corpses blood refining array. In addition, Mo Qingyun was very clear that only people who wanted to be reborn from a drop of blood would use the 10,000 blood corpse refining array to refine the blood essence of others. This is the 10,000 blood corpse refining array. Someone wants to be reborn from a drop of blood. Mo Qingyun was shocked. Boy, I didn't expect you to be so knowledgeable. You actually know about the 10,000 blood corpse refining array and rebirth from a drop of blood. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was shocked, a gloomy laugh came from above the blood pool. The one who spoke was a crimson skeleton. Its eyes shone with a bewitching light. You are the disciple of the blood refining demon king. After seeing the red skeleton, Mo Qingyun quickly guessed its origin and asked. Mo Qingyun asked because according to his understanding, only the blood-refining Demon King and his disciples knew about the 10,000 blood corpse refining array and rebirth from a drop of blood. In addition, according to Mo Qingyun's memories, the blood-refining demon king, seemed to have been killed by Li He before he was reborn. I didn't expect that after 1,000 years, there would still be someone who knows my name. The Crimson Skeleton sighed when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. Crimson light flickered in his eyes as he looked at Mo Qingyun and said, "Kid, since you know my name, I can spare your life if you agree to become my blood slave." "You are the blood-refining demon king?" Hearing the Crimson Skeleton's words, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He didn't expect the Crimson Skeleton to be the true body of the infamous blood-refiner demon king. "I didn't expect Li He to not only not kill you, but also let you escape here and plan to be reborn from a drop of blood." After a brief moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun looked at the blood-refiner demon king and smiled faintly. "If your 10,000 corpses blood refinement formation was completed and you were reborn from a single drop of blood, I might be afraid of you. However, you're just a remnant soul now. You're not qualified to make me your blood slave." Blood slave was a unique skill of the blood-refining demon king. It could leave a bloodline mark in the opponent's bloodline. Once you became the blood-refining demon king's blood slave, your life would no longer be under the blood-refining demon king's control. Mo Qingyun wouldn't agree to such a thing. Moreover, the blood-refining demon king didn't have the ability to threaten him now. "You? Who are you?" Seeing that not only was Mo Qingyun aware of his current situation, but he also knew his past like the back of his hand, the blood-refiner demon king's tone became a little panicked. Although Mo Qingyun was only at the peak of body tempering stage 10 on the surface, the blood-refining demon king didn't believe that a kid at the peak of body tempering stage 10 could know so much about him. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun must be hiding his true identity. He was worried that Mo Qingyun was sent by Li He to kill him. Mo Qingyun ignored the blood-refining demon king's words and said calmly, "You don't have to know who I am. I'll give you 2 choices now. 1, you follow me from now on. 2, I'll kill you later. Kid, don't go too far. I'll fight you to the death." Hearing Mo Qingyun's threat, the blood-refining demon king's tone darkened, and he said angrily, "You can try." However, Mo Qingyun still did not care about this and replied indifferently. After speaking, Mo Qingyun waited calmly for the blood-refining demon king's reply. The reason why Mo Qingyun wanted to subdue the blood-refining demon king was because the blood-refining demon king was at the peak of the transcendent stage when he was at his peak. Moreover, the blood-refining demon king had a strange ability. If he could subdue him, he would be a great help in the future. After a while, the blood-refining demon king thought about it again. He didn't dare to take the risk and said reluctantly, "All right, I agree to follow you. You'll realize how wise your choice was in the future." Seeing that the blood-refining demon king was willing to submit, Mo Qingyun laughed and said, "You can use the bloodline mark on yourself, and I'll leave a soul mark on you." "You!" The blood-refining demon king was furious when he heard that Mo Qingyun wanted him to become Mo Qingyun's blood slave. However, after looking at Mo Qingyun for a short while, the blood-refining demon king chose to back down. He had no choice. Mo Qingyun gave him a strange feeling, and he knew him too well. He didn't dare to doubt that Mo Qingyun didn't have the means to deal with him. Chapter 91. After subduing the blood-refiner demon king, Mo Qingyun found out the reason for the sect's destruction. It was because of the aftermath of the fight between the blood-refiner demon king and the supreme realm expert, Li He. In the end, the blood-refiner demon king was no match for Li He, so he used the blood shield secret technique to hide in the sect and escape death. However, after using the blood shield secret technique, the blood-refiner demon king's vitality was greatly damaged. He had no choice but to use the blood rebirth technique to cultivate again. For this, the blood-refiner demon king set up a trap to attract people from the outside world into the sect, which was the ancestor worship and suppression. During each ancestor worship, the blood-refiner demon king would release some treasures for the juniors who entered the sect to obtain. This would attract the families from the outside world to send some juniors in every year to search for the treasures he released. During this process, he would kill some juniors from the various families and refine their essence blood to complete the 10,000 blood refiner formation. However, he did not expect Qingyun to appear at this crucial moment and ruin all his plans. How much longer do you need to complete the 10,000 blood refiner formation? Qingyun asked after hearing the blood refiner demon king's explanation. Master, I only need to refine the essence blood of these people. The blood refiner demon king replied respectfully. Hearing this, Qingyun nodded and said, You've taken everything in this sect, haven't you? Yes, master. The blood refining demon king nodded and handed a Qinkuan pouch to Qingyun. Everything in this sect is in here. However, due to the consumption over the years, there isn't much left. Qingyun took the Qinkuan pouch from the blood refiner demon king and opened it. Just as the blood refiner demon king had said, there weren't many things left in there. Fortunately, the remaining items were relatively rare and precious. Red blood grass, spirit melting flower, metal fruit, water spirit vine, apricot moss. Seeing this, Qingyun took out various spiritual herbs and placed them neatly in front of him. There's still a few things missing. This is a bit troublesome. Qingyun frowned and revealed a troubled expression. He asked the blood refiner demon king, Do you have dragon soul grass, feather spirit goldwater, and nirvana breath soil? Dragon soul grass, feather spirit goldwater, nirvana breath soil. Hearing Qingyun's question, the blood refiner demon king was shocked. These things were extremely rare. More importantly, these things grew in extremely remote places. Very few people knew about these places. The blood refiner demon king didn't expect Qingyun to know about these items. He couldn't help but feel surprised. Looks like Master's background isn't simple. The blood refiner demon king sighed and replied, Master, I only have the dragon soul grass and feather goldwater. The nirvana breath soil exists on Phoenix Mountain, and I was unable to enter with my strength when I was alive. With the dragon soul grass and spirit feather golden water, it's possible. Unfortunately, the effect of the pills refined from them might be a little inferior. Qingyun sighed and felt that it was a pity. If he had the nirvana breath soil, the blood refiner demon king would be able to recover his cultivation to the elixir palace realm. Refining pills. The blood refiner demon king's eyes lit up and asked in surprise, Master, you know how to refine pills? May I know what kind of pills Master is trying to refine? Qingyun said indifferently, It can be considered a weakened version of the Grand Harmony blood fusing pill. Hiss. A weakened version of the Grand Harmony fusion pill. Hearing Qingyun's words, the blood refiner demon king was shocked. He looked at Qingyun with passion in his eyes. The Grand Harmony blood fusing pill was a high-grade pill that only an elixir king could refine. At this moment, Qingyun wanted to refine a weakened version of the Grand Harmony fusion pill. Could it be that Qingyun was the reincarnation of an elixir king? Otherwise, why would Qingyun be able to refine such a high-grade pill? As for a 15-year-old elixir king, the blood refiner demon king did not believe it. At this moment, the blood refiner demon king's heart was filled with excitement, and the resentment in his heart lessened. In his opinion, acknowledging a reincarnation of an elixir king as his master was not something to be ashamed of. Then, Qingyun took out the crimson flame cauldron and began refining the pill. He placed various spiritual herbs into the cauldron one after another. Now that Qingyun's soul cultivation had reached the illusory realm, the strength of his soul had increased greatly. His refining ability had also increased. He would be able to barely refine a weakened version of the poison pill. As Qingyun started to concoct pills, the blood refinement demon kings were completely dumbfounded when they saw Qingyun's alchemy technique. Dragonflies skimming the water hand, divine beast cauldron hand, 100 birds fighting over their cries. In a short period of time, Mo Qingyun used more than 10 different refining techniques, each more profound than the last. At the end, the blood refiner Demon King could not recognize any of the techniques. This scene shocked the blood refiner Demon King. He was sure that Mo Qingyun must be the reincarnation of an almighty. Otherwise, he would not have such an ability. However, the blood refiner Demon King was not very clear about which almighty figure it was. Just like that, several hours later, the blood refiner Demon King said in surprise, "Master, the refining of the 1,000 corpses blood refiner formation is complete." At this moment, the 1,000 corpses blood refiner formation was completely refined and turned into a purplish-black blood crystal. Okay, Mo Qingyun nodded after hearing this. He swallowed a pill to recover his true qi and continued refining the pill. After a few more hours, a pill fragrance came from the cauldron. The pill was complete. Then, Mo Qingyun opened the cauldron and saw a red pill lying quietly inside. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun took out the pill and threw it to the blood refiner Demon King. "Eat this pill first, then perform the blood refiner rebirth." "Yes, master." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the blood refiner Demon King swallowed the pill and started refining it. As the blood refiner demon Lord refined the pill, his crimson bones began to show signs of life. Seeing this, the blood refiner Demon King did not hesitate and dripped the purplish-black blood crystal on his head. As the purplish-black blood crystal fell on his head, it turned into a violent energy that slowly seeped into his bones. At the same time, the surrounding yuan energy of heaven and earth gathered towards the blood refiner Demon King in a frenzy. Then, flesh and blood started to form on the blood refiner Demon King's body, and his body slowly became full. An hour later, the blood refiner Demon King's body was finally completed. He turned into an old man with a head of red hair and looked like he was in his 60s. As the blood refiner Demon King completed his blood refiner rebirth, his powerful aura was immediately displayed. Half-step to Yuan dance state. Feeling the aura from the blood refiner Demon King, Mo Qingyun let out a satisfied look. Now that he had a half-step to Yuan dance state fighter, it would be much more convenient for him to do what he wanted to do. "Your servant Qi Lian greets master. Thank you for giving me a new life." The blood refiner Demon King half knelt in front of Mo Qingyun and bowed respectfully to Mo Qingyun. "No need to be so polite. I am just the icing on the cake." Mo Qingyun waved his hand and said, "My current identity is a little special. I am a junior from a small family in northern desert town, Mo Qingyun. You can call me Young Master Qingyun from now on." "Yes, Young Master Qingyun." The blood refiner Demon King nodded and replied, "In that case, let's leave this place." Chapter 92. Not far from the ancestral tomb, there was a huge platform filled with people. The juniors who had left the ancestral tomb had all been transported here. 3 days have passed, and the exit to the ancestral tomb is about to close. "Why hasn't Qingyun come out yet?" Mo Faping asked worriedly. Seeing that the time limit to enter the ancestral tomb was up, and Mo Qingyun still hadn't come out, Mo Faping and the others were very worried. Could it be that Mo Qingyun had met with danger in the ancestral tomb? Was that why he hadn't come out yet? Xian, tell us what happened when you and Qingyun were separated. Mo Yueru asked nervously. Hearing this, Mo Xian recounted her experience with Mo Qingyun to everyone. Hearing Mo Xian's reply, the Mo family fell silent, and the worry on their faces deepened. Hearing the conversation between Mo Faping and the others, Mo Tsong gloated and said, "There are many powerful spirits and vengeful spirits in the ancestral tomb. If an ordinary true energy realm cultivator were to encounter them, it would be extremely dangerous. When I was at the peak of the first level of the true energy realm, I also had a headache when I met spirits and vengeful spirits. It wasn't until I broke through to the second level of the true energy realm that the situation improved." Mo Song said with a proud expression. In my opinion, Mo Qingyun should have encountered them and fallen into a dangerous situation. When he said this, Mo Song's tone was full of bragging, as if his cultivation had reached the second level of the true energy realm. Mo Song, don't be so full of yourself. Seeing Mo Song gloating, Mo Xian's expression changed, and she said unhappily, those spirits and vengeful spirits aren't a threat to Qingyun at all. Mo Song shrugged and said proudly with a cold smile, is that so? Then why hasn't he come out? That's because Mo Xian was at a loss for words after Mo Song's question. She didn't know how to answer. She had no choice. No matter how she explained, Mo Qingyun hadn't come out. This was the truth. Hearing Mo Song's words, the already tense expressions of Mo Faping and the others became even heavier. Although Mo Song's words were unpleasant, they were not without reason. If Mo Qingyun had not met with danger with his cultivation base, he should have come out long ago. At this moment, while Mo Faping and the others were worried, He Qinsheng walked out from the crowd. Everyone, the exit of the ancestral tomb has been sealed. Next, I will announce the rankings of the first round of the town meeting. He Qinsheng chuckled and said, after a round of statistics, just now, the rankings for the first round of the competition are already in my hands. Now, I will begin to announce. First place, Song Zihao, obtained a total of 27 identity cards. Second place, He Xiao, 19 identity cards. Third place, He Yuyang, 17 identity cards. Fourth place, Mo Xn, 14 identity cards. Fifth place, Mo Song, received 10 identity cards. 10th place, Lu Yong, 6 identity cards. He Qinsheng announced the rankings of the first round one by one. After He Qinsheng finished announcing the rankings, he said to the crowd again, those who entered the top 10 in the first round, rest for a moment and enter the second round of the competition. At this moment, just as He Qinsheng finished speaking, Song Zihao came in front of the Mo clan and said with a cold smile, I heard that the Mo clan's number 1 junior, Mo Qingyun, has extraordinary strength. Why don't I see his figure now? Could it be that he hasn't come out from the ancestral tomb yet? Hearing Song Zihao's words, the Mo clan's people's faces changed, and their expressions became somewhat unnatural. Song Zihao's actions at this moment were clearly touching the pot that did not boil. I haven't seen that Mo Qingyun from the Mo clan. Could it be that he perished in the ancestral tomb? That's also possible. The danger in the ancestral tomb is not small. Every time it opens, the various clans will lose some juniors inside. The Mo clan lost their number 1 junior this time. I'm sure they must be very upset in their hearts. Being mentioned by Song Zihao, the surrounding people all looked over at the Mo clan. Seeing the gloating gazes from the crowd, the faces of Mo Hong Tian and the others turned ugly. However, Mo Keed and the others had a faint smile on their faces as they replied to the crowd. Ha! I think everyone has misunderstood. The number 1 person in our Mo clan's younger generation isn't Mo Qingyun, but my grandson, Mo Song. Hearing Mo Keed's words, the crowd's expression changed, and they were somewhat stunned. Mo Song was the number 1 junior in the Mo clan? When did this happen? Mo Keed ignored the crowd's surprise and said, my grandson, Mo Qingyun, likes to keep a low profile and doesn't care about these empty titles. Therefore, he didn't compete for the number 1 junior title. Coincidentally, Mo Qingyun is the clan leader's grandson, so he took over this title. Clan leader, I said I'm right? After Mo Keed finished speaking, he looked at Mo Hong Tian with a playful smile, as if he had Mo Hong Tian under control. In his opinion, Mo Hong Tian would definitely nod his head and admit it, because this was related to the Mo clan's reputation. If the number 1 junior in the Mo clan died in the ancestral tomb, it would be a humiliation to the Mo clan. This, Mo Hong Tian's expression was difficult, and he hesitated, not knowing how to answer. There's a movement at the entrance of the ancestral tomb again. Is someone coming out? At this moment, when Mo Hong Tian didn't know how to answer, someone suddenly exclaimed in shock. Then, Everyone turned to look at the entrance of the ancestral tomb, their faces filled with curiosity. Was there really someone coming out of the ancestral tomb? Who could it be? Under everyone's curious and expectant gazes, a slightly thin figure appeared in front of everyone. Mo Qingyun. The person who came out of the ancestral tomb was Mo Qingyun. Seeing this scene, everyone's expression couldn't help but change. They were a little surprised by this result. Just a moment ago, everyone was still discussing that Mo Qingyun might have died in the ancestral tomb. Who would have thought that he would come out in the blink of an eye? Such a dramatic turn of events was hard for everyone to accept. Under normal circumstances, once the entrance of the ancestral tomb was closed, the people inside would never be able to come out. How is this possible? The entrance of the ancestral tomb is closed. It's impossible for the people inside to come out. How did you come out? Seeing Mo Qingyun appear, Mo Tsang's face was filled with shock as he said in disbelief. Hearing Mo Tsang's words, everyone was also curious as they waited for Mo Qingyun's answer. Is that so? I just walked to the exit and then I came out. Mo Qingyun pretended to be confused as he replied. As for the real reason why he came out, only he knew. The mechanisms and formations in the ancestral tomb were all set up by the blood demon lord, Qi Lian. It was easy for him to let Mo Qingyun come out. The time to enter the ancestral tomb was set by the blood demon lord. Therefore, it was up to him to decide when to open the entrance. When Mo Qingyun left the ancestral tomb, he was worried that Qi Lian would be with him and arouse the suspicion of others. Therefore, he asked Qi Lian to leave the ancestral tomb alone from another place. Then, they would meet at Beima town. After all, those who entered the ancestral tomb were the juniors of the various big families. It would be too obvious if Qi Lian suddenly appeared. Qingyun, you're out. That's great. Seeing Mo Qingyun come out, Mo Faping and the rest were overjoyed and excited. Brother Hong Tian, since your grandson has come out of the ancestral tomb, asked him to take out his identity badge. At that moment, He Qiansheng walked over and said to Mo Hong Tian. Then, Mo Qingyun took out his identity badge and handed it to He Qiansheng. 67 identity badges. The number of identity tokens that Mo Qingyun obtained actually reached 67 pieces. Seeing this result, everyone was shocked. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's performance. In that case, the first place of the first round of the contest was Mo Qingyun. Brother Hong Tian, congratulations. No wonder your grandson is the #1 junior in the Mo family. After seeing Mo Qingyun's result, the surrounding family leaders immediately congratulated him. The #1 junior in the Mo family? When the crowd said this, they subconsciously looked at Mo Qid and the rest. Their eyes were full of mockery. Mo Tsang was the #1 junior in the Mo family. Mo Tsang kept a low profile. Mo Tsang did not want to be in the limelight. If that was the case, why was Mo Qingyun's result so much better than Mo Tsang's in the first round of the contest? Under the mocking gazes of the crowd, Mo Qid and the rest turned red. They were extremely embarrassed, as if they had eaten a fly. Previously, he had said that Mo Tsang was the #1 junior in the Mo family. However, in the blink of an eye, Mo Qingyun had proven that he was the #1 junior in the Mo family. This was a slap in the face. Chapter 93. Great Elder, I heard you say that Mo Tsang is the #1 junior in the Mo family, right? At this moment, Mo Xian smiled at Mo Qid. Mo Qid's face turned red again when he heard Mo Xian's question. His expression was extremely awkward. This time, he had lost all his face. Seeing that Mo Qid did not speak, Mo Xian did not say anything else and turned to look at Mo Qingyun. Qingyun, why did you only come out now? Mo Xian and the others asked curiously. I met with some trouble in the ancestral tomb, so I was delayed for a while. Mo Qingyun laughed and made up a story. Because of that, I met with some fortuitous encounters and obtained many good things. Fortuitous encounters? Fortuitous encounters are not so easy to come by. Don't say that you obtained some good things just by picking up some weeds. Mo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain and glanced at Mo Qingyun with disdain. Hearing Mo Tsang's words, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and took out the Chinquin bag that Qi Lian gave him. Following that, Mo Qingyun took out the items in the Chinquin bag. There were elixirs, weapons. Seeing Mo Qingyun take out these items, the surrounding people's eyes lit up and they were extremely envious. This is a third-grade elixir, the Treasure Yuan Dan. If a true energy realm martial artist takes it, it can increase their cultivation. There is also the Quenched Yuan Dan. After taking it, it can increase the purity of the body's Yuan Dan. This is a third-grade elixir. This is a 100-year-old fourth-grade elixir. Just by smelling it, one will feel refreshed. There are actually 7 or 8 high-grade mysterious weapons. If a true energy realm martial artist has such weapons, their strength will increase by at least 30%. What kind of luck does this kid have to obtain so many treasures in one go? Seeing the items that Mo Qingyun took out, everyone was extremely envious. As Mo Qingyun took out the items one by one, Mo Tsang's face became more and more unsightly. It was as if he had eaten a fly. Compared to Mo Qingyun, the fortuitous encounter that he had was like a joke. Brat, you didn't empty the entire ancestral tomb, did you? Seeing Mo Qingyun take out a treasure, Mo Hongtian's mouth was wide open as he laughed at Mo Qingyun. For Mo Qingyun to have such a fortuitous encounter as his grandfather, he was naturally overjoyed. How lucky must one be to encounter such a thing? Hee hee. Mo Qingyun smiled guiltily at Mo Hongtian's question. Needless to say, Mo Hongtian's joke hit the nail on the head. The cosmos sack that Qi Lian gave Xiao Chun indeed contained all the treasures in the ancestral grave. After a simple display, Mo Qingyun put away the items one by one. After a while, it was time to rest. At this moment, He Qianqing walked out and said to the crowd, "The top 10 juniors in the first round of the competition, come over here now." After hearing He Qianqing's words, Mo Qingyun and the rest walked over to where He Qianqing was pointing. I don't think I need to explain the importance of the second round of the competition. This concerns your clan's ranking in Northern Desert Town and the distribution of resources in Northern Desert Town. Therefore, I hope that you will give it your all. After seeing Mo Qingyun and the rest walk out, He Qianqing said to them in a deep voice, "What do you mean by distribution of resources?" When Mo Qingyun heard this, he asked Mo Hexen, who was beside him, in confusion. There are many plots of land in Northern Desert Town. Some of these plots of land produce various kinds of ores, while others are suitable for planting various kinds of spiritual herbs. Mo Hexen explained to Mo Qingyun. However, the distribution of these plots of land is based on the ranking of each clan. The higher the ranking, the better the plot of land. Mo Hexen added, "The ranking of each clan is based on the number of points obtained by the juniors in the town council." "I see." Mo Qingyun nodded. "The rules are still the same. The clan that wins first place will get 100 points, second place will get 90 points, and so on." At this moment, He Qianqing continued to explain the rules. In addition, if a clan has many juniors in the top 10, their points can be added together to form the clan's total points. All right, now we will draw lots to match up with your opponents. After explaining the rules, He Qianqing pointed to the drawing box at the side. Immediately, Mo Qingyun and the rest walked forward and began to draw lots. Number 1. Looking at the number in his hand, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly, indicating that he would fight first. Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and walked directly to the empty space in the center of the stone platform. Following him, Mo Qingyun saw a short, strong young man walk in front of him. This short, strong young man was quite strong. His cultivation was at LV2 True Energy Realm, and his aura was even stronger than Mo Tsang's. He Clan, He Yuyang, Mo Clan, Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun and He Yuyang bowed and introduced themselves. "Oh no, He Yuyang is very strong. He has a chance to get into the top 3 of the town council. I'm afraid Qingyun will be in trouble." Seeing that Mo Qingyun's opponent was He Yuyang, Mo Han Tian and the rest became serious. He Yuyang's cultivation was at LV2 true energy realm, and he was not like Mo Tsang who had just broken through. He was very strong. It would be very difficult for Mo Qingyun to defeat He Yuyang. At the center of the stone platform in the arena, Mo Qingyun, right? I've heard some things about you. He Yuyang looked disdainfully at Mo Qingyun and said, I'm very surprised that you could break through to the true energy realm so quickly, but you're still not my match with your cultivation at LV1 true energy realm. Perhaps Mo Tsang from your Mo clan can take 10 moves from me. Mo Tsang can take 10 moves from you? Hearing He Yuyang's words, the surrounding crowd's expressions changed. This He Yuyang was really arrogant. They were both at LV2 true energy realm, but he actually said that Mo Tsang could only take 10 moves from him. Not only that, but He Yuyang's words also had another meaning. He was saying that Mo Qingyun could not even take 10 moves from him. Is that so? Mo Qingyun smiled at He Yuyang's words and said, Perhaps you don't know, but Mo Tsang can't even take 10 moves from me. Mo Tsang can't even take 10 moves from me? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the surrounding crowd's expressions changed and became somewhat shocked. Mo Qingyun was even more arrogant than He Yuyang. He actually said that Mo Tsang could not even take 10 moves from him. Was he trying to use this to show that his strength was stronger than He Yuyang's? While they were shocked by Mo Qingyun's words, some of the surrounding people also looked at Mo Tsang playfully. Seeing the crowd's gazes, Mo Tsang's expression was extremely ugly. These two fellows actually humiliated and belittled him like this. Mo Qingyun, He Yuyang, if I meet you later, I'll definitely ruthlessly humiliate you. Mo Qingyun's eyes were about to burst as he clenched his fists and gritted his teeth and thought to himself. Mo Qingyun and He Yuyang did not care about Mo Tsang's thoughts. You're good at talking big, but true strength isn't all talk. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was even more arrogant than him, He Yuyang's expression darkened. He snorted coldly and said, In order to let you know how big the gap between you and me is, when we fight later, I'll give you a handicap with both hands. If I use both hands, it'll be considered my loss. He Yuyang wanted to give Mo Qingyun a handicap with both hands. Hearing He Yuyang's words, the surrounding people's expressions changed and their hearts were filled with shock. He Yuyang was too arrogant. Give me a handicap with both hands? Mo Qingyun looked at He Yuyang in front of him and said arrogantly, In that case, when we fight later, I'll give you a handicap with both hands and legs. If I use both hands and legs, it'll be considered my loss. How about that? What? Mo Qingyun wanted to give He Yuyang a handicap with both hands and legs? Mo Qingyun was too arrogant. Did he think that he could defeat He Yuyang by standing still? At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded, stunned by Mo Qingyun's actions. Did I hear wrongly? Mo Qingyun said he wanted to give He Yuyang a handicap with both hands and legs. Is he planning to commit suicide? Although he's not committing suicide, he's still too impulsive. This is equivalent to giving He Yuyang victory. That's not necessarily true. I'm very curious about Mo Qingyun's performance later. Perhaps he'll discover something unexpected. At this moment, the surrounding people were in an uproar as they whispered to each other. If you give me a handicap with both hands and legs, I hope you won't regret it later. He Yuyang smirked and sneered complacently. If Mo Qingyun gave him a handicap with both hands and legs, could he still win? Chapter 94. Qingyun, you've been careless. Mo Hongtian's expression changed as he sighed. He Yuyang's words must be a trap for Qingyun. In Mo Hongtian's opinion, He Yuyang would not be so reckless in a fight that would determine a family status in northern desert town. Therefore, He Yuyang's words about letting Mo Qingyun use both his hands were a trap for Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun's cultivation was already lower than He Yuyang's, and now he was going to let He Yuyang use both his hands and legs. Mo Tian felt that Mo Qingyun was going to lose this fight. Humph! You're overestimating yourself. How dare you let someone else use both his hands and legs? Let's see how you fight with He Yuyang later. Mo Tsang sneered and said disdainfully, even I don't dare to let He Yuyang use both his hands and legs. Mo Qingyun, you're really courting death. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrogant behavior, Song Zaheo curled his lips and said disdainfully, is he really Mo Qingyun? Healing Yu was shocked. She could not believe that the arrogant young man in the fighting ring was the Mo Qingyun she knew. This was a far cry from the cowardly Mo Qingyun in her impression. In the middle of the fighting ring, seeing that Mo Qingyun was even more arrogant than him and wanted to let him use both his hands and legs, He Yuyang smiled cruelly. Mo Qingyun, since you're courting death, don't blame me, He Yuyang said coldly. Then he summoned his martial soul. Silkworm Shadow Leopard, appear. At He Yuyang's call, a black leopard shadow with a pair of huge silkworm wings appeared above him. The Silkworm Shadow Leopard Martial Soul was a top-class 9 martial soul. It could increase a martial artist's speed and strength. It was a very powerful martial soul. Silent Shadow. At this moment, He Yuyang did not hold back in the slightest. He directly executed a martial skill, and his figure flashed towards Mo Qingyun. As He Yuyang took a step forward, his figure turned into an afterimage. His speed was extremely fast. Apart from that, He Yuyang's aura didn't fluctuate at all. If he were to carry out an assassination, it would definitely be a very terrifying thing. Mo Qingyun died. While everyone was still in a daze, He Yuyang's figure had already appeared behind Mo Qingyun. Shadow Leopard Steel's heart. He Yuyang stretched out his hand. The terrifying true chi on his palm quickly turned into a black leopard claw and attacked Mo Qingyun's back. Seeing this scene, everyone's expression changed, revealing a look of reluctance. If he was hit by this attack, Mo Qingyun would be dead for sure. Mo Qingyun is finished. He Yuyang's attack is too vicious. If he takes it head-on, he'll definitely be seriously injured. He Yuyang is too strong. Even if they fight head-on, Mo Qingyun won't have any chance of winning. He Yuyang is a popular candidate for the top 3 in the town assembly. Mo Qingyun dared to be arrogant when fighting with him. He deserves this outcome. There was a commotion at the side. Oh no, I'm afraid Qingyun won't be able to take He Yuyang's attack. Mo Tian and the others were worried. Their faces were filled with anxiety as they tightly clenched their fists. Mo Xin and the other girls directly covered their eyes and exclaimed in worry. In contrast to Mo Tian and the others' worries, the clan's people smiled faintly and said, haha, Yuyang is very good. Even when facing a weak opponent, he didn't hold back. If he can cripple the Mo clan's kid, that would be great. The He clan naturally didn't want to see outstanding juniors from other clans grow in case they threatened their clan's interests in the future. So he didn't become arrogant, but self-righteous. Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't react at all to He Yuyang's attack, Healing Yu's expression became much better. Just when everyone thought that Mo Qingyun wouldn't be able to take He Yuyang's attack, Mo Qingyun closed his eyes. With his hands behind his back, Mo Qingyun directly closed his eyes and took a small step forward. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, He Yuyang sneered. Trying to dodge? It's too late. However, before He Yuyang could finish speaking, his expression froze. He couldn't feel happy anymore. Wind blades. At that moment, true chi wind blades appeared around Mo Qingyun's body. Moreover, each of these true chi wind blades exuded an aura comparable to the full force attack of a true chi realm cultivator. What kind of technique is this? Seeing Mo Qingyun's move, He Yuyang was shocked and hurriedly retreated. Even so, he was still hit by several wind blades in a short period of time, leaving wounds that were dripping with blood. At that moment, He Yuyang was no longer as high-spirited as before. Instead, he was battered and exhausted. He Yuyang was beaten back and seriously injured by Mo Qingyun. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were instantly dumbfounded. They felt that it was unreal. Mo Qingyun really didn't use his hands or legs to beat back and seriously injure He Yuyang. That's profound meaning? Compared to the shock of some of the juniors, Imo Hong Tian and the others were undoubtedly more shocked. Profound meaning was the key to breaking through to the Yuan Dan realm. It was something that they had never been able to comprehend. Now, Mo Qingyun had successfully comprehended profound meaning when he was just in the true Qi realm. This was too shocking. Profound meaning, good lad. You've only just entered the true Qi realm, but you've already comprehended profound meaning that even true Qi realm cultivators can't comprehend. Good, huh? At that moment, Mo Hongtian stood up excitedly. The joy he felt was indescribable. For Mo Qingyun to be able to have such a performance, it was really beyond his expectations. Good lad, you're becoming more and more unpredictable. Mo Faping was also excited. His body trembled uncontrollably. Profound meaning. How is this possible? How can a true Qi realm lad comprehend profound meaning? At that moment, Mo Hongtian wasn't the only one who was shocked. The other family heads also stood up in shock. This lad has terrifying comprehension. Although his martial soul cultivation isn't high, his talent is too terrifying. At that moment, those who knew about Mo Qingyun's martial soul couldn't help but exclaim in their hearts. Profound meaning. Hearing the reactions of the people around him, He Yuyang was also stunned at this moment. He unconsciously sucked in a breath of cold air. At that moment, He Yuyang couldn't help but want to scream. Is Mo Qingyun still human? Mo Qingyun actually comprehended something that even true Qi realm cultivators couldn't comprehend. Is there any justice in this world? Even if you've comprehended profound meaning, you'll still lose if you don't use your arms and legs. He Yang gritted his teeth and said with a gloomy face, the power of your profound meaning is only comparable to a true Qi realm cultivator. This kind of attack can't defeat me. He Yang moved his body and directly faced Mo Qingyun. Shadow Leopard Illusory Kill. At that moment, He Yang didn't dare to hold back and used his martial soul's super ability. He Yang's body pounced like a black leopard hunting for its prey. His movements were as fast as lightning. Not only that, when he approached Mo Qingyun, his body actually split into three, forming three afterimages. The three afterimages had the same aura, so much so that it was impossible to tell which was the real one. Mo Qingyun, you forced me to this step. Although you've lost, it's still an honorable defeat. The three afterimages laughed coldly. They raised their hands and grabbed at Mo Qingyun, leaving behind afterimages. Soul Sky Seal. Facing He Yuyang's attack, Mo Qingyun's face was calm. He opened his eyes and looked at He Yuyang. Then, the three soul battle seals quickly comprehended and attacked He Yuyang at the speed of a meteor. Faced with the terrifying speed and sudden soul battle seals, He Yuyang was almost unable to react and was hit directly. After being hit by the soul battle seals, He Yuyang let out a scream and stopped moving. Following that, the other two phantoms also dissipated, revealing his true body. When He Yuyang's true body appeared, everyone could see that there was a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth, and his face was pale. Get lost! Mo Qingyun took a step forward. Wind blades appeared around his body and attacked He Yuyang crazily. Chi. Under the crazy attack of the wind blades, He Yuyang's body was left with more than 10 wounds in the blink of an eye. At that moment, He Yuyang's body was also attacked by the wind blades and was sent flying out of the fighting ground. Looking at He Yuyang, who was lying on the ground and suffering from serious injuries, Mo Qingyun asked coldly, do you still want to continue? Facing Mo Qingyun, who had an arrogant expression and a threatening aura, He Yuyang suddenly came to a realization, and his expression became blank. He had lost. Moreover, he had lost because Mo Qingyun had allowed him to use both his hands and feet. This kind of result was too big of a blow for He Yuyang. Chapter 95. I've lost. Seeing that He Yang had admitted defeat, the crowd looked at the young man in the arena with complicated expressions. He did it. Even though he was outclassed by He Yang, he still managed to defeat him. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's image in the crowd's hearts grew significantly. Mo Qingyun wins. The judge announced loudly and announced Mo Qingyun's victory. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun walked to the side of the arena and stopped in front of the Mo family. "You brat, how many more secrets are you hiding?" Mo Faping was overjoyed as he patted Mo Qingyun's shoulder and laughed. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at Mo Faping's question, but did not answer directly. "Sit down and rest for a while." Mo Hongtian pointed to the seat beside him and smiled with relief. Mo Qingyun's performance had greatly exceeded his expectations. When they saw Mo Qingyun sitting beside Mo Hongtian, the people from the other clans revealed envious expressions. The key to breaking through to the Yuandan realm was to comprehend the ultimacy. Now that Mo Qingyun had comprehended the ultimacy, with Mo Qingyun's help, Mo Hongtian's chances of breaking through to the Yuandan realm would greatly increase. Mo Hongtian has given birth to a good grandson. At this moment, many family heads sighed in their hearts. Ultimacy. This kid actually did this. We must not let him live. Looking at Mo Qingyun in the Mo family crowd, Song Zaheo's face darkened as he gritted his teeth. He actually defeated Brother Yu Yang. Healing Yu's face was full of shock and disbelief. She knew He Yang's strength very well. He was definitely one of the best among the younger generation of the He family. But even so, he was still defeated by Mo Qingyun in a domineering manner. Furthermore, he was forced to use both his hands and feet. At this moment, while the crowd was still in shock over Mo Qingyun's shocking performance, the next round began. It was a fight between Mo Tsang and Lu Yong. Seeing that his opponent was Lu Yong, Mo Tsang revealed a disdainful smile. Although Lu Yong was also in the top 10, his strength was not strong. He was only at the first level of the true energy realm. As soon as the match began, Lu Yong summoned his martial soul without hesitation and attacked Mo Tsang with all his might. Lu Yong's martial spirit was a level 9 martial spirit called the Blazing Rhinoceros. It was one of the more powerful martial spirits. Flaming Bull Charge. The moment Lu Yong made his move, he unleashed his martial soul divine ability. It was as if he was determined to succeed or die trying. As soon as Lu Yong unleashed his martial spirit's super ability, 6 flaming bull shadows appeared around him. The 6 flaming bull phantoms charged towards Mo Tsang with a strong heat wave, as if they were knights charging at the front line. This level of attack is not enough. Facing Lu Yong's attack, Mo Tsang smiled disdainfully and raised his hand to blast out a palm. Hell, Tiger Devour. Under Mo Tsang's palm, a terrifying wave of true energy gathered in his hand and formed a black tiger shadow. As soon as the black tiger shadow appeared, it let out a roar and pounced on the flaming bull shadow, frantically devouring it. After a short while, the flaming bull shadow was devoured by the tiger shadow and disappeared in the blink of an eye, turning into a tonic for the tiger shadow. I admit defeat. Seeing this, Lu Yong did not hesitate and jumped out of the arena. His strongest attack had been easily broken by Mo Tsang. There was no point in continuing. He would only be humiliating himself. Seeing that Lu Yong had taken the initiative to admit defeat, Mo Tsang proudly raised his head and threw a provocative look at Mo Qingyun. The meaning behind it was obvious. It meant that Mo Tsang, had won even more easily this time. Mo Qingyun did not respond to Mo Tsang's smugness. He only smiled playfully. After Mo Tsang and Lu Yong's battle, it was Mo Xian's turn. Mo Xian's luck was not very good. Her opponent was He Xiao. When He Xiao saw that his opponent was Mo Xian, his face darkened. He said coldly, "I hate people who act tough and those who are with them. I don't like that Mo Qingyun from your Mo clan. Therefore, I will not show mercy to the Mo clan. If you want to blame someone, blame it on your Mo clan for having such a pretentious brat. Cut the crap. If you want to fight, Just come at me. Hearing He Zhao's pretentious words, Mo pretty face darkened, and she said unhappily. After saying this, Mo charged towards He Zhao. Her body was like a flaming phoenix as she attacked He Zhao. Insignificant skill. Facing Mo attack, He Zhao curled his lips in disdain and revealed a cold smile. Mountain-breaking axe appear. The mountain-breaking symbol was a top-grade 10 martial spirit. It was an extremely powerful combat martial spirit. Once the martial spirit appeared, He Zhao's aura instantly soared. He stood there proudly like a giant axe that could split the sky. Mountain-breaking axe. Seeing that Mo was getting closer, He Zhao revealed a cold smile and immediately used the superpower of his martial spirit on Mo. Then a huge golden axe materialized in the blink of an eye and chopped down at Mo. Seeing He Zhao's powerful attack, many people couldn't bear to watch. They looked at Mo in the arena with pity. If Mo was hit by He Zhao's attack, she would be bedridden for at least half a year. Xiana, Mo Tian, and the others were shocked. They wanted to stop Mo but it was too late. Bang! Facing He Zhao's attack, Mo did not have any strength to resist. She was hit on the shoulder. Puff! Under the terrifying impact, Mo body flew out, and she spat out a mouthful of blood. Seeing Mo body fly out, Mo Qingyun moved and raised his hand to catch Mo preventing her from falling to the ground. However, He Zhao's attack was too powerful and ruthless. After Mo fell into his arms, she fainted. Looking at the pale Mo in Mo Qingyun's arms with blood flowing from the corner of her mouth, the crowd could not bear to see her like this. Mo was such a beauty, yet He Zhao was so heavy-handed. This guy was too ruthless. With He Zhao's cultivation at LV3 Genuine Energy Realm, it would be easy for him to defeat Mo. However, he had summoned his martial spirit and used the superpower of his martial spirit. It was obvious that he had done it on purpose. Without a doubt, he was taking revenge on the Mo clan for what Mo Qingyun had done just now. He intended to cripple and kill Mo. Seeing that Mo had fainted, Mo Tian and the others became anxious and angry. Mo Qingyun took out an elixir and fed it to Mo. Then he asked Mo Xiao to help Mo to the side to rest. After doing all this, Mo Qingyun's expression was cold. He looked at He Zhao and said coldly, "Next, I won't show mercy to the He family and the people related to the He family." Mo Qingyun's tone was as cold as the voice of the underworld. It was chilling. Everyone could hear that Mo Qingyun was furious. After he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun sat back down. His expression was cold as he waited for the next battle. Next was Song Ziheo's turn to fight another person. Perhaps it was because he had seen Mo Xion's miserable state, but when he saw that his opponent was Song Ziheo, he immediately admitted defeat. The last match was won by a LV2 Genuine Energy Realm cultivator from the Song clan named Song Qingyun. Thus, the top 5 were determined. They were Mo Qingyun, Mo Song, Song Qingyun, Song Ziheo, and He Zhao. The top 5 were born, and, after a short break, the top 5 would fight for ranking. After a while, they drew lots to determine their opponents. Since the 5 of them drew lots, one of them would naturally have a bye. After Mo Qingyun and the other 4 drew lots, the results were as follows. Song Ziheo drew a bye. Mo Qingyun would fight against Mo Song, and He Zhao would fight against Song Qingyun. Mo Qingyun against Mo Song? Seeing this result, everyone was stunned for a moment before a trace of anticipation appeared on their faces. Previously, Great Elder Mokid said that Mo Song was the real #1 junior in the Mo clan, and Mo Qingyun was only the nominal #1 junior. Now, the nominal #1 junior in the Mo clan was going to fight the real #1 junior. This competition was really something to look forward to. Who was the real deal and who was the fake? It seemed like it would be revealed soon. In the arena, Mo Song looked at Mo Qingyun coldly and said, "Mo Qingyun, I will let everyone know that I am the real #1 junior in the MO clan. I will return the humiliation you gave me 100-fold. One move. In response to Mo Tsang's words, Mo Qingyun looked indifferent and said coldly, "One move?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Tsang's expression froze for a moment. Then he laughed and said, "It seems that you are quite self-aware. Since you have spoken, I will defeat you in one move." Defeat me in one move? Chapter 96. Nether Tiger, Appear. After summoning his Nether Tiger martial soul, Mo Tsang's aura immediately changed. It became stronger and darker. Nether Ghost Sight. Once the martial soul superpower was used, Mo Tsang's eyes flashed with a ghostly light. Then, Mo Tsang's eyes emitted a bewitching blue light that attacked Sumo's head. Swift Shadow Step. Facing Mo Tsang's martial soul superpower, Mo Qingyun took a step forward and easily dodged the light. Get lost! Then, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and threw a palm at Mo Tsang. It hit Mo Tsang's chest and sent him flying. Puff! After being hit by Mo Qingyun's palm, Mo Tsang immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. His face turned pale, and he fell out of the fighting ring. Mo Tsang was defeated in one move. Seeing this result, the crowd was stunned and their eyes widened. At this moment, they finally understood what Mo Qingyun meant by one move. He was saying that he only needed one move to defeat Mo Tsang, the #1 junior in the Mo family. Mo Qingyun cast a disdainful glance at Mo Tsang and left with a disdainful remark before walking out of the arena. After Mo Qingyun's words, the crowd looked at Mo Tsang with ridicule. Mo Tsang was the #1 junior in the Mo family? But why was he so weak in front of Mo Qingyun, the #1 junior in the family? At this moment, a strong sense of mockery filled the air. Of course, while they were mocking Mo Tsang, they were more shocked by Mo Qingyun's strength. Under the mocking gaze of the crowd, Mo Tsang's face turned red and he felt defeated. The gap between him and Mo Qingyun did not seem to have shrunk. Instead, it seemed to have become even larger. With a trace of loneliness, Mo Tsang slowly walked to Mo Qid's side. Seeing that Mo Tsang was defeated by Mo Qingyun in one move, Mo Qid had mixed feelings and his mood was extremely complicated. However, if one looked closely, they would see that Mo Qid's eyes were much colder and there was a trace of killing intent in them. That's right, it was killing intent. Mo Qid looked at Mo Qingyun with an additional trace of killing intent. However, Mo Qid was very gloomy and the crowd did not notice it. In the fighting ring, after Mo Qingyun and Mo Tsang's fight ended, it was Song Qingyun and He Zhao's turn. Due to the relationship between the Song family and He Zhao's, He Zhao was not as ruthless as he was towards Mo Xin. Was He Zhao's. After Song, He Zhao's Song's He Xiao, and He Zhao's and Zhao's. Was He Zhao Song Xiao? Let's take a short break before the top 3 duels begin. A judge said to Mo Qingyun and the other two. Just as the judge finished speaking, He Xiao suddenly spoke up. Hearing He Zhao's words, the judge looked at Mo Qingyun and Song Zihao and asked, "What do you think?" From a judge's point of view, since He Xiao did not mind, Mo Qingyun and He Xiao should not mind either. Let's start. Mo Qingyun and Song Zihao nodded and agreed to He Zhao's suggestion. Mo Qingyun stepped forward and arrived at the center of the fighting ring. Seeing Mo Qingyun take the lead, the surrounding people's expressions changed. Was Mo Qingyun going to start the first battle? He Xiao, get up here. Under the shocked gazes of the crowd, Mo Qingyun looked at He Xiao with a cold expression and said coldly. He Xiao smiled coldly when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He slowly walked to the center of the fighting ring and said, "I didn't expect you to be in such a hurry to throw your life away. That's fine too. Let me finish you off first, and then I can fight Brother Zihao to the best of my ability." In that case, I'll have to trouble brother He Xiao to finish off this troublesome brat. Song Zaheo chuckled when he heard He Xiao's words and replied, Brat, I thought that you would avoid the battle. I didn't expect you to take the initiative to throw your life away. He Xiao looked coldly at Mo Qingyun and laughed coldly. Do you think that you're a match for me with your level 1 true energy cultivation? Is that so? Mo Qingyun's aura immediately rose at He Xiao's words. Not long after, Mo Qingyun's aura reached the second level of the true energy realm. Level 2 True Energy Cultivation. Mo Hontian and the rest were shocked when they discovered Mo Qingyun's cultivation. His cultivation has also reached Level 2 True Energy Cultivation. Mo Tsang felt a sense of defeat when he discovered Mo Qingyun's cultivation. He did not expect that Mo Qingyun had also reached Level 2 True Energy Cultivation. Level 2 True Energy Cultivation? He Xiao's expression changed slightly when he felt the change in Mo Qingyun's aura. He said disdainfully, Do you think that you can threaten me with your Level 2 True Energy Cultivation? In He Xiao's opinion, whether Mo Qingyun's cultivation was at Level 1 or Level 2 True Energy Cultivation, it made no difference. It's enough to cripple you, Mo Qingyun said coldly. Humph, you talk big. Brat, I'll let you know how stupid your thinking is. He Xiao's expression darkened as he replied. Swift shadow steps Mo Qingyun did not waste time talking nonsense with He Xiao. He immediately moved and attacked He Xiao. 9 heavy crash. Mo Qingyun punched out. Instantly, his true energy surged and turned into a few true energy fish shadows that flew towards He Xiao. He Xiao did not dare to hesitate when faced with Mo Qingyun's attack. He immediately retaliated. Mountain-splitting axe appear. Shortly after, a huge golden axe appeared in the air above He Xiao, emitting a terrifying wave of soul power. Mountain-splitting axe. Slash. Once he summoned his martial soul, He Xiao immediately used his martial soul super ability. It seemed like he wanted to end the battle quickly. Bang! The fist shadows and axe shadows collided, producing a series of muffled sounds. True energy wreaked havoc, and the momentum was overwhelming. At the same time, He Xiao's martial soul super ability was instantly defeated by Mo Qingyun's attack. He Xiao's martial soul super ability was defeated. Everyone's expression changed when they saw this scene. They were shocked. Fire Dragon Seal. However, at that moment, while the crowd was shocked, Mo Qingyun's body moved, and he once again attacked He Xiao. All of a sudden, the 27 genuine Qi battle seals formed a huge shield and crashed down on He Xiao. It was as if Mount Tai was pressing down, trying to suppress and crush everything below. What a terrifying martial skill. Seeing Mo Qingyun's move, everyone's expression changed again. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to have such a terrifying martial skill. Rock-splitting golden axe. Faced with the shield formed by 27 battle seals, He Xiao's expression changed, and he quickly blocked it. Under He Xiao's palm, the powerful true Qi burst out from his palm, forming an axe light, which quickly smashed towards the flame shield. However, when the axe radiance came into contact with the flame shield, it was immediately crushed and dissipated into thin air. Bang! After crushing the axe radiance, the flame shield did not slow down and press down on He Xiao. Puff! Under the suppression of the flame shield, He Xiao was pressed to the ground, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Stop it, we admit defeat. He Qiansheng immediately revealed a panicked expression when he saw this scene, and he hurriedly shouted. However, Mo Qingyun did not care about what He Qiansheng said. He moved again and stepped on He Xiao. Crack! 4 crisp sounds of bones breaking could be heard. He Xiao's arms and legs were instantly crippled, and he lay on the ground like a dead dog. Bang! Mo Qingyun kicked again, aiming at He Xiao's dantian, and kicked him out of the fighting arena. He Xiao was crippled. Brat! Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the He family was furious, and they gritted their teeth. He Xiao was the #1 genius of the He family. How could they not be angry when Mo Qingyun crippled him? However, they could not say anything. After all, Hizhao's actions towards Moxin were too much. Right now, Mo Qingyun's actions were nothing more than reciprocity. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.